secretly filmed women and posted videos on an Insta account. Are no places safe for women is what we ask later on the show tonight. And lastly, we will discuss the horrific incident of period shaming of girl students from a school in Maharashtra. A sad and shocking story of school failing its students. But first up, a big development that is coming in from the Apex Court. A significant breather for the Election Commission in the Bihar voter list revision row. The top court has refused to stay the ongoing voter list revision exercise. That means that despite, that essentially means that despite mounting criticism and fear among large sections of voters, especially migrants, the exercise will go on. But the Supreme Court did not give the Election Commission a free pass either. In a telling observation, the court made it clear that the list of 11 documents currently accepted by the ECI is not exhaustive. The court has urged the Commission to consider Aadhaar, voter ID and ration card as valid documents to prove eligibility. These are documents that are widely held by ordinary Indians, and their exclusion had sparked confusion and anger. And at the same time, the Supreme Court has upheld the Election Commission's authority to conduct the voter list revision, reinforcing the constitutional sanctity of the electoral body. But let's be clear, just because the Election Commission has the power doesn't mean it is beyond questioning. The EC told the court, and I quote, that Aadhaar is not technically proof of citizenship. The Election Commission told the Supreme Court that foreign nationals can also be issued Aadhaar. That Aadhaar is only proof of identity, not nationality. So for this purpose, verifying voters' citizenship, Aadhaar, they say, is not usable. But here's the counter. If Aadhaar can be linked to bank accounts, ration cards and even passports, then why not for voting? Especially when Aadhaar is used for other government welfare programs and entitlement verifications. The petitioners, remember, had three demands. First, inclusion of Aadhaar, voter ID and ration card in the acceptable document list, that this survey be de-linked from the upcoming assembly elections to avoid voter suppression, and third, to extend the timeline so that those who live and work outside Bihar can arrange for their documents or return to participate. So tonight, while the Election Commission gets legal backing, the larger questions remain unanswered. Why was this exercise launched barely months before the polls? Why is the burden of proof falling entirely on the citizen and not the state? And most importantly, ladies and gentlemen, how do we ensure that no single eligible voter is erased in the name of electoral purification? Joining me on the show, Pawan Verma, Chief National Spokesperson of the Jan Swaraj Party. We have Dr. Mohammad Amin, who is the former Joint Director of Election Commission of India. Pawan Verma, starting with you. Of course, you were not one of those petitioners in this case. How do you look at this interim order which has come in from the Apex Court?
Right, Puram. Marya, let me make it clear. I think the Supreme Court acted with admirable maturity and restraint. You see, the Election Commission of India, under the constitutional scheme, is an autonomous body. It has, under Article 324 and 326, the right to conduct elections and to draw up the voters list and ensure that those voter lists are updated and kept accurately. That is a job within its purview, right, Badahi? So the Supreme Court did not infringe on the autonomy of the Election Commission. However, the Supreme Court, and this is significant, asked three important questions. And this is not a matter of whether the opposition won or the ruling party lost or vice versa. The Supreme Court asked three important questions. First, it asked, both Justice Dhulia and Justice Bagchi asked the question whether the Aadhaar card or the voter card or the ration card, which most voters have, cannot be accepted by the Election Commission as proof of their being included in the electoral roll. Secondly, the Supreme Court flagged the question of the timing of the exercise. Why is this important? The Supreme Court flagged the timing of the exercise because you are aware that when the parliamentary elections took place in 2024, the Election Commission had conducted a summary review. The Bihar section of the Election Commission, the branch, had then sent a letter to the main Election Commission saying that this had been done satisfactorily and the voter list now is as what it should be. So just a few months after this exercise for a parliamentary election, you begin in June the SIR and expect to finish it in a state of a population of 13 crores with voters numbering 8 crores, of which at least over 5 crore vote. A process of weeding out who are the ineligible voters.
Yes.
Now let us say, for instance, that the Supreme Court's advice that the timing is not right is accepted or not accepted, but this question still remains. Why is the Election Commission insisting only on a certain set of documents and not another?
Okay, so Dr. Mohammed Amin,
thereby
now that the Supreme
greatly
Court,
harassing
now
the
that
voter.
the Supreme Court,
And the last thing, I'll just finish so that we start the debate properly.
Okay.
The last thing the Supreme Court said is that citizenship, the establishment of citizenship is not within the mandate of the Election Commission. It is the mandate of the Home Ministry. Now, in the light of this, the Election Commission is to provide a counter affidavit by July 21st. But I think all the three matters raised by the Supreme Court are extremely important in the interest of the common voter who is being harassed to now prove his ability to say that I am an Indian citizen and can vote.
okay. Dr. Mohammed Amin, as someone who has worked at the Election Commission, of course, Aadhaar will not, the Supreme Court has said that Aadhaar, ration card should now be seen as documents which can be submitted for this process. Don't you think that the timing, of course, is something that the Election Commission is not able to justify?
Marya, actually, the problem is that this two states like Bihar and West Bengal are bordering of the international border like Nepal, Bangladesh and Bhutan. 3 international borders are covered in that area. That's why so many times we have received the complaints in the Election Commission and other places also. And administrations also briefing to the Election Commission that a lot of the bogus Aadhaar cards are there. So that's why the last election you find in case of Maharashtra, Haryana and Delhi. So opposition parties had the blame
Not
to
share
the
the
Election
border with
Commission.
Bangladesh.
Pardon?
Those states do not share the border with Bangladesh.
I'm talking about I'm including the West Bengal also. I'm including the West Bengal also.
Yes, Bengal
If
elections
you
are
can
next
go
year.
to Siliguri side, if you can find Kishanganj is there. There a lot of objection is there for percentage of the vote and Aadhaar cards. So I'm telling you this time why needed in Bihar. If you can go into the history of the EVM machines are pilot project was started from Kerala first, and after that this was introduced in 2004 in all over India, EVM machines. So whenever we have to start, some point is there. This time the Bihar election is there, so that's why the Election Commission want to improve the quality of the voter list. This is very mandatory for the election. So that's why opposition parties have the blame for that election voter list in Maharashtra, and lot of objections in Haryana and Delhi. But the High Court of the Maharashtra has already given the verdict that there is no discrepancy in the voter list, and they have given the...
Dr. Amin, you haven't answered my question. The question is of the timing. The last such exercise was... No, sir. Let me finish my question. The last such exercise... No, sir. Let me finish my question. The last such exercise was carried out in 2003. Since then, there have been a number of Lok Sabha polls and assembly elections. So are you saying that in all these elections, there were illegal migrants who were casting their vote?
Always we update our list before 6 months of the election. And
this time it is being done in less than 3 months ahead of election, sir.
No. That is the process of the election commission. They update their list and they remove the illegal names from the list and ensure only the eligible citizens of the voters can be included in the voter list. This is the and till date we have received the 54% of the return forms filled by the BLOs and other. Okay. So time is not a problem.
Dr. Joy Kumar, of course, the exercise is continuing, and the fact is that the petitioners had not asked for a stay. It will be seen as a verdict which will be read positively by the parties which have been challenging it, particularly to do with the Aadhaar being seen as one of the documents which should be seen as a verification document. So go ahead, express your thoughts. Sir, you have to unmute yourself.
Marya, I was quite shocked to hear what Mr. Amin is saying. He's saying Maharashtra, we did it. High Court said that the process is correct. Then why are you doing it in Bihar, sir? If your process was so correct in Maharashtra, then why are you saying you need to do it in Bihar like this? So you can't have both. First of all, Amin sir, I'm a little shocked by your reply. Typically, like the election commission, sir, it is full of loopholes and statements which don't test on the ground. So let me start with your statement, because I believe you're speaking for the election commission. You said that we challenged the Maharashtra election. The opposition felt that the electoral roll was wrong. You did it in the old system. High Court said it is correct. Then why are you doing this drama in Bihar right now? If your old system was good in Maharashtra, then what is the need to do it? First point. Second point is, you're not the voter, or not like Mr. Pavan Verma correctly said, the election commissioner is not a citizenship verification place. The third point is feeding typically into the BJP narrative of Guspeti, which you just reconfirmed when I saw it. I mean, since Amin sir, you're not in the, I think you've retired from the election commission. I saw a TV show of a reputed Hindi channel, giving figures. Nobody else has got the figures, saying, is gaon mein 130 votes hai, Katiyar mein 160 ho gaya. Who is giving these figures? And why are you doing it? Most probably it is false, to build a narrative. So the election commissioner is becoming like the BJP's election cell. I saw in a national TV, Hindi prominent channel, the anchor is saying this many votes in this village. How is the Aadhaar so many? Who is giving these here? Because we are not sharing the data. You're not making the data public. Second issue, 2 crores or 3 crore people of Bihar stay outside. The Indian state is, and you have been a government servant, Pavanji has been a government servant, you have been a government servant. 20% of scheduled caste out of 100 have SC certificate. Which world are you all living in? 18% of scheduled tribes have their certificate out of 100. Bihar, 2003 to 2007, only 15% of birth certificate. 15%, sir. 15% of Biharis have birth certificate. And then the election commission says, bring birth certificate. And sir, you speaking the same language as election commission, that people from Bengal, border, then Amit Shah should be arrested, no sir. BSF is allowing the people to cross over. My question to you is, अगर इतनी घुसपैठी हो रही है तो भारत की सेना और BSF क्या कर रहा है, sir? The question again is, election commission is playing into the hands of the Bharatiya Janata Party's political narrative. Even retired government officials seem to have lost their basic. No, Marya, I'll just finish. Marya, one sec. Marya, last. No, one sec. I'll just finish with the last point.
Yes.
This government, you think the Indian state has bridges falling in Gujarat? 20% SCs have certificate, 15% of Biharis have birth certificate in that the people who can rightly vote. And election commissioner says passport dikhao. Passport, how do you get a caste certificate by Aadhaar, correct? Now Shazia can challenge me, anybody. One of the main certificate for Aadhaar, for caste certificate is Aadhaar. Father's name, village name, address. Caste certificate is allowed, Aadhaar is not allowed. This is like living in Kafka. This is the most heinous election commissioner action in the history of independent India.
Okay.
And you have officers planting
Dr.
stories.
Joy Kumar, you have spoken now, please.
I just want to come in now. I think we can listen, ad nauseum, this volatile diatribe about how electoral democracy in our country is compromised. But that is not the reason why your party, Ajoy, keeps losing elections. It loses elections because it does not have people's faith. People do not vote for you. So stop blaming the...
You lost for 70 years, Shazia.
Be
you
quiet.
Lost for 70
Be quiet
years.
and stop screaming.
No, one sec. You lost for 70 years.
Be quiet,
I didn't want to interrupt.
So you can scream
talk
as much as you want.
You
can scream and lose your temper. The fact of the matter is that people don't like you.
70 years you lost.
Okay, after you're done, I'll speak.
70 years. No, first of all, get it clear. You lost for 70 years. No, you lost.
When you're done, Marya, allow me when it's my turn, I will like to come.
Let's get clear. You lost for 70 years.
No, let's be very clear. People have rejected you. People have rejected you. No matter how much you speak. There are 40 judgments of the court.
Speak on the issue.
Yes, she is speaking on
so there are 40, only if you be quiet, and I want to show you the mirror. Please. Just because you are rejected by the people and do not enjoy the mandate does not mean, again you are at it. I can't do this, Marya. Sorry.
No, I can't do it because you speak on the topic.
No, don't be a sore loser.
No, I'm
Stop
going to
being a sore
ask
loser.
one moment. Shazia Ilmi, please speak on the subject.
Me.
But Dr. Joy Kumar, I'm glad both of you are smiling.
I'm speaking on the subject.
Yes,
Marya,
both of you are smiling.
Make
It's good. She can make her point from where she wants to start. You can't decide that for her, Dr. Joy Kumar. That's unfair.
But there has to be...
Dr. Joy Kumar, let us speak.
So I will reiterate. I will reiterate, Ajoy sitting here is losing his cool because he knows his party has lost the mandate. He cries foul. They are the ones who go every time there's an election result and they're shown the mirror and they're routed out. What happened in Maharashtra elections? Do you remember? They went there and it was the Maharashtra High Court which said there is nothing foul or wrong. Be quiet, Ajoy, and learn to accept that nobody likes you.
Yeah.
Rahul Gandhi is uninspiring. You are setting up for a big defeat. So do not do that. I am not a spokesperson for the election commission. Marya, I can't talk like this. If you want me to carry on, I do not like to talk like this. This man who's lost his bubble.
Let's have Shazia.
No manners.
I don't think so.
Shazia Ilmi on the screen.
You are misbehaving. You're not allowing me to speak.
Shazia,
you are not allowing. I'm talking about Bihar and SIR, and I'm saying that I'm not a spokesperson for Election Commission, but I'm telling you that yes, it is mandated, and if you read the Constitution or Representation of People's Act, it is a job of the Election Commission. For a good reason, that's why Supreme Court has not called it unlawful. Yes, there are serious questions asked, and that's as Supreme Court must do. And Election Commission is answering them. But to make it all about, and why? Why would you do this? What are you so scared of? Because you're already setting up for a big defeat. And this is just your way of playing foul, muddying the waters. And we've tried to do, and there's so many judgments of the Supreme Court on Election Commission, and it's working. The recent one on Maharashtra High Court about what you went in Maharashtra chunav chura liya hai. Ab ye bhi churayenge. Man, Maharashtra, you want to believe the courts now, and as you should. But what did Maharashtra High Court say? That not one evidence, not one fact leads to
Shazia,
any error on the point of...
Today's interim order. Let's talk about today's interim order.
Yes, I'm
where
talking
the election
about the interim order.
Listen to me. the Election Commission had not put Aadhaar, voter ID card and ration card as documents which are eligible, valid documents. Now they have been suggested by the Supreme Court that they should be seen as valid documents. What are your thoughts on that?
Well, as a political party, I have no thoughts, positive or negative, on the rulings or observations of Supreme Court on the workings of Election Commission. All I know is that I have complete faith. I know for sure that Election Commission is quite capable of defending itself. They have a fine counsel and a process in place, and they would take that up. Here, I do not want to play a commentator or somebody who speaks for the Election Commission, because I know precious little, and I know where my territory and boundaries are, as should every citizen of this country. And I'm quite aware of the fact that I have Election Commission as a job to do, and as is his mandate, reiterated a few times. Now, but to say and make it about, if there is indeed a question, and serious questions have been asked as to why not the...
Okay. Shazia Ilmi, there's a problem with the audio. We can't hear you anymore. Shazia Ilmi, Dr. Joy Kumar, Pavan Verma and Dr. Mohammad Amin, thank you so much for joining us. We are shifting focus to another story now, but remember this move of this order, the interim order of the Supreme Court certainly will be seen as a huge relief for migrants in particular, because Bihar has a huge population of out migrants, and for them to produce any other verification document was becoming tough. Now, because Aadhaar will be included, so will the ration card be. It will be seen as a relief for them. A quick break and then we return.
गोल्ड प्लस ऑप्टिमिस्टिक रिफ्लेक्टिव ग्लास लगाओ, धूप की गर्मी को दूर भगाओ और बिजली का बिल भी बचाओ।
Fenesta Windows, beautiful and durable designs, इंस्टॉलेशन से मेंटेनेंस की लाइफ लॉन्ग कस्टमर सर्विस। आपके घर में फिनेस्टा नहीं है तो कॉल कीजिए।
फाइनर फिनेस्टा।
कहना इस दीवार पे इतने इश्तहार चिपके हैं कि कोई दरार नजर नहीं आती। मैं उन लोगों में से जो कहता हूँ सारे इश्तहार फाड़ के फेंको, पहले दरार को एड्रेस करो।
ये दरार इसलिए क्योंकि कुछ लेफ्ट कुछ राइट, पर हम उन मुद्दों में आपके साथ जिनसे आपकी फाइट है। डिजिटल से देश समझा, अब टीवी पर समाधान लाना है। आइए मेरे साथ खबरों की कचहरी में सिर्फ NDTV पर।
वनक्कम तमिलनाडु।
The battle for Tamil Nadu 2020.
Now we turn the spotlight on a growing menace, one that preys on women's privacy, dignity and safety in the digital age. A 26-year-old man accused of operating an Instagram account that posted videos and photographs of women in Bengaluru without their consent has been arrested. And this happened post a woman's viral Instagram post. This suspect, identified as Gurdeep Singh, worked as a hotel management graduate, is currently unemployed and was detained from his residence in KR Puram area of Bengaluru. He lives with his brother and is now in the police custody after officers took up the case on their own. The account in question had been posting video clips primarily filmed on Church Street, a popular commercial and pedestrian area in central Bengaluru. The clips featured women walking in public spaces, often appearing unaware or startled when the camera was pointed at them. Several videos showed women being followed discreetly as the person behind the lens captured footage under the guise of documenting street chaos. These videos, we are told, were not just casual clips. They were predatory, targeted, and deliberately circulated to objectify and shame. Let's be very clear, this is not content creation, this is not free speech, and this is a crime. In a city like Bengaluru, vibrant, cosmopolitan, fast-paced, where women step out to work, study, travel, and just live their lives. But incidents like these send out a chilling message that even in public spaces, even in broad daylight, your safety is not guaranteed if someone decides to violate it with a camera, phone, and an internet connection. And the problem is not limited to one man. This has become almost like a trend. Faceless, nameless accounts uploading voyeuristic content on social media for likes, shares, and virality. Women reduced to content, treated as objects without any thought about consent or consequence. So we must ask, why is it so easy to film and humiliate women online and get away with it until someone complains? Why are platforms not proactive in flagging and taking down such content? And more importantly, why do so many people continue to watch, comment, and share instead of report? This is a serious gap in awareness, law enforcement, and platform accountability, and women clearly are paying the price. This isn't just a law and order issue, this is about the kind of society that we are becoming, where women's everyday existence is at risk of becoming someone's viral moment. So tonight, as we report this arrest, let us also demand stronger laws, faster action, and zero tolerance, because a smartphone in a wrong hand is not just a device, it's a weapon, and it must be treated as such. Joining me on the show, NS Napinai is the founder of Cyber Sathi. Welcome, NS Napinai. Sanjay Sahai is former ADGP of Karnataka. We also have Brinda Adige joining us. I'm going to begin with you, Ms. Napinai. The concerns are that it's about the viral content. This is not content creation. But it doesn't stop here. This is a menace which is of course being reported from Bengaluru, but it is happening all across our country. And they seem to be getting away.
The last part is what we need to address really, Marya. That people should not be getting away with this kind of conduct. They need to know there is a criminality attached and that law will play a role. So when you talk about voyeurism, per se, voyeurism, the provision under BNS now, earlier IPC, Bharatiya Nyaya Sanhita now, does not criminalize general photography in public places. Instead, what it does is it criminalizes any kind of voyeuristic act where a person has a reasonable expectation of privacy or it is of their private parts. So we need to kind of probably evolve firstly to a European standard which makes public photography, and more importantly, it lays down guidelines for what is permissible in public photography. It doesn't ban it. But more critically, when you're sharing a person's imagery, then consent is made mandatory. And when you have a higher level of data protection laws, which also takes care of your privacy rights, then I think that's what we should probably aim for. You already have a DPDP Act now, but this is a threshold that the Act does not really cover at this juncture. You have criminal provisions other than voyeurism, which still will make such acts where the content is being circulated in an obscene way or where circulated with obscene comments, where it impacts a woman's rights on various fronts. So you have multiple laws which can affect a situation like this and can be deployed. But it's not voyeurism per se. That's where we stand today.
We also have Priya Chetty Rajagopal, prominent citizen. So Priya, welcome to this broadcast. I'm going to come to you now, Priya. We are looking at Bengaluru, where this incident has of course happened. The person has been arrested. It's happening in your public spaces. The question of not taking consent is one, but it's about the law and order as well. I'm sure there are policemen standing and perhaps trying to understand what exactly is this man up to. And he seems to be okay with it because he seems to have an alibi, and the alibi here is that he is street chaos.
Right. First and foremost, as far as this incident is concerned and the way it has sort of spiraled, And it has also shown up something really, really important, which is the casual attitude towards filming, here specifically women, because there's a definite concern about that. And in this context, and in an effort to either, make this salacious or, shameful or whatever that was intended, I'm glad that the spotlight has fallen on it, and this very difficult situation has been sort of brought to light. So on a basic level, we all know what the issues are as far as privacy rights or what the cybercrime laws are. But in terms of actual implementation or escalation, we all know that it's very difficult to do. Try and, for example, list a post on Facebook or Instagram. It takes ages before anything ever happens. And by that time, those few hours can be chaotic for the person who's going through a tough time. So these are things which definitely have to be sort of looked at. And in parallel, the cybercrime responsiveness, especially, on the phone, they give you a hotline number. I know that is not as effective as it should be. It really should be much better. And, in moments like this couple of hours that, something can go viral, at least you're able to stop it or you're able to intervene in some ways. Moving on to the other aspect, which is, the whole idea of everything about yours is in the public domain, one way or the other. You've got CCTV cameras on the street, which capture your traffic offenses or whatever else. Number of different offices, homes, all of which have CCTV cameras. So at some point you're being, you are somewhere. But the fact is, how do you use this information? And with the kind of access to media, I think we have lost essential respect or even interest in the privacy of an individual. It's just par for the course. You watch Instagram on a loop, you will just see hundreds of things, somebody's feed, somebody on a beach, conversations, talking to strangers and posting rubbish about them on a social media. This seems to be more par for the course than anything else. So I don't have an answer on that, because where does creativity stop and where does this kind of nonsense absolutely something has to be done about that. But we have to admit that the fine lines between, say, a conversation or creative intent it can be allowed, and this can't. So how do we do it? And how do we create the systems and processes that will make sure that the powers that be, whether it is a social media platform, whether it's the IT Act, whether it is the the cyber police responsiveness, these needs to be escalated. There's a very small input, I'll tell you, and this was related to more the animal welfare part of it, which I had, which I was doing some work on. And we were working on something called banning online pet sales. And one small little provision was found out by a young lawyer in our group, which, as per the Telecom Act, actually, that if there's anything which breaks the law, the entire site can be shut down. And that can be a very serious offense. So, for example, just imagine if you found something offensive on Google. Technically, the Department of Telecom can actually write to them and say, we found this, and if you're not attending to this in the next few hours, we're shutting down your site. And imagine what it does to you. So I'm saying maybe that kind of responsiveness will only happen when there's a threat or a penalty. We can't expect people to be standing around and just looking out for, which picture shows somebody with, standards of decency are, different for different people. So somebody may have an objection to, a bikini. Somebody may be absolutely, horrified by a head uncovered. It depends. But we do need a quick turnaround, because what's on the line is really painful, and it can scar somebody for life. I don't know what you remember, but about a few years ago.
Ma'am, I'm going to come to you. Let me bring in others as well, please. Sanjay Sahai, the question here is that the platforms are not proactive in flagging and taking down such content. And also it's becoming clear that people continue to watch it, comment and share instead of reporting.
We are trying to catch the animal by its tail. And the whole problem is that the technology is supposed to follow the law, and social behavior is supposed to follow the law, the technology, and the tools. So that is where we stand. The problem is one with the technology platform. That is only one part of the story. But what have we done with the law? Whatever we have done with the law and 6 odd sections which are available, we don't have enforcement capabilities.
Yeah.
Now we are talking about what the platforms are doing, what platforms are not doing. I'll give you 4 clear-cut things by which you can monitor the public domain non-encrypted social media content. It can be done by open intelligence tools. There are hashtag and keyword tracker. You have AI-based video analytics. You have crowdsourced reporting channels. I don't think any of these things are working in a full-fledged manner with the Indian enforcement agencies. Suffice to say that the digital world in which we are in and the digital enforcement and the law and the processes which we have are certainly out of tune. One more thing I would like to add, that we have just got the DPDP Act and we are in the process of finalizing the rules, which is at the draft stage and might be gazetted at any point in time. There are platform collaborative dashboards, which is there in US, which is there in a couple of other countries, but we have not reached even there. So broadly, the incapability of the Indian state either to control the platform or to create a capability and a potential so as the law enforcement agencies and other people who are a part of the criminal ecosystem are able to lay hands on a real-time monitoring basis. If we are trying to do it in any other manner, it is not going to work out. And a panelist before me has been talking about as to how a couple of hours can be so damaging. So if a couple of hours can be so damaging and a social media post takes around 2 hours to circle across the globe, then it is a real instantaneous monitoring which will count, and also a very collaboration with the digital platform. So you see a post and you communicate to the digital platform and digital platform communicates back to you. The point is, we have been battling out with the digital platform. There have been police forces who have been going to WhatsApp. They have been going to all sorts of places. Is this collaborative of nature or it is adversarial in nature? And if anybody wants that because of a great law, great enforcement and a great society will be built up, it has never been built up, it will never be built up. So broadly, what our search procedures, we just have a couple of sections, that is nearly all. Justice Verma said, you put voyeurism, so voyeurism was put as a part of the Criminal Amendment Act in 2013. If you see the police side, you come to the police station level, does the police station have the capability of doing social media monitoring? Let's be very clear about it. It is a lot to do with women and girls, but I think it has hugely to do with national security, with intelligence, with crime detection, with law enforcement, with crowd management, to literally anything and everything, because social media is where everything lies today. Good, bad, ugly, literally everything. You come to the political trolls. What is the nature of language being used? Not supported by lots of ruling parties all across the country. Now, if that is the language which you are indulging in, so you allow the political establishment to do whatever they feel like. Their IT cells only means abuse on the social media and absolutely nothing else. They are doing morphing, they are putting all sorts of pictures. Okay. And here what is important is not one line. What this guy has done, you have to understand both the context and the caption. And if he tells the police, then I'm picking up urban chaos, and police is not ready to go into even his Insta account, they can at least take his name and get into his Insta account. These are public domain content, information, which can very easily be tackled.
Okay. Come in now, Brinda Adige. As a prominent Bengalurian yourself, is there a sense that women are becoming increasingly unsafe?
Absolutely, yes. Women are becoming increasingly unsafe, and there is a very deep degree of indifference and no fear of law, because nowhere do we see punishment happening or they being brought to justice. So perpetrators are not afraid. And then, like Mr. Sahai was pointing out, yes, the police require to be trained, and there is a great necessity for coordination, collaboration and convergence. We must bring in the prosecutors and the judiciary, because any case that comes before them, they take their own sweet time. And I have been reiterating again and again that this is important to address on an emergency, urgency basis. So they cannot treat these cases like every other case that they might treat and say, okay, I will give you a hearing in 3 to 6 months' time. So the judiciary also has to start looking at how do we address it, fast-track court, but what is much more faster than the fast-track court? You need to start having mobile courts. You need to start having more people who are judges who are trained. I can place on record just now that a large number of judges don't even understand what is social media. They don't even know how quickly this stuff can go viral. And they have no idea that it never gets deleted and it's going around everywhere. One part of it. The other part of it, there is a demand also that is being created by this perverse people, this perversion and the perverts clicking photographs and videos. Somebody is there to watch it and comment on it. Now, we do not want to say anything to those people because the police all the time keep saying, how many people are you going to address? How many people are you going to arrest? How many people are you going to bring to book? If there are 1,000 of them, bring them to book. Is that not what Digital India is all about? How can we say that, we are not so sophisticated, we don't have that kind of technology? Get the technology, train yourself, and ensure that there should be that fear that even if I comment and I'm a consumer, I will be pulled up. I might hide behind the facade of anonymity and nobody might know, but Mr. Sahai just pointed out that it is possible to find out who the person is. So one is supplying, because I'm sure this person wasn't doing it free of cost. He was earning some money, and dark web, you and I know, it is sold for n number of rupees. So there are people to sell it and there are people to buy it. So now my state has to say women, their privacy and their security is at stake. Forget about the entire privacy bit, but their security, because after this point comes the whole blackmail point.
Absolutely.
And we've seen what's happening.
We have really come to the end of this discussion. Sanjay Sahai, Anas Napinai and Priya Rajgopal, thank you for joining us. Shifting focus to another story now. A shocking story coming in from Maharashtra. Young girls of classes 5th to 10th in a Thane school were forced to strip and were examined by teachers after bloodstains were found in the bathroom. The incident has sparked anger among parents, and rightly so. The shameful incident took place on Tuesday at the R.S. Damani school in Shahpur district of Thane. A case under the POCSO, which is the Protection of Children from Sexual Offences Act, has been registered against the school principal, 2 trustees, 4 teachers and a sanitation worker. The school principal and a sanitation worker have been arrested. The girls' horror started when school staff spotted drops of blood in the school bathroom. What happened next is not what you should expect a school to do. That is to talk to the girls about menstruation and educate them. But what followed was beyond horror. The girls were asked about their periods. The parents allege that some students were asked to remove their underwear for examination. Girl students are in a state of shock and told their family members about the incident. This is 2025 India. And I wonder, why is the talk and still the periods, why are still the periods such a taboo? Joining me on the show tonight are 2 parents of the same school. Javed Sheikh, his daughter actually studies at the school. Aparna Khade is a parent again. Her son studies in the school. Shaina NC is the leader of Shiv Sena Shinde faction, and Dr. Ranjana Kumari is joining us as well. Javed Sheikh, as a father of a daughter, if you can share what was your daughter telling you when it actually happened?
My daughter telling me that, ma'am, can I talk in Hindi?
जी बोलिए, बिल्कुल हिंदी में बोलिए.
जी जी मैम, देखिए जिस बच्चियों का जब 8 से लेके 10 स्टैंडर्ड की जितनी बच्चियां थी, नियर अबाउट 200, यानी इन्होंने 5th स्टैंडर्ड से लेके 10 स्टैंडर्ड की तमाम लड़कियों को एक साइड में किया और कहा कि ये जो हरकत वॉशरूम में हुई है, इसका हम इन्वेस्टिगेशन करेंगे. और प्रिंसिपल ने ऑर्डर किया कि हर एक लड़की को बाथरूम में लेके जाएंगी टीचर और चेक करेंगी. चेक करने के इसमें उन्होंने उनको उनके अंडरगारमेंट्स को छेड़ा, उनको चेक किया, उनको, यानी अब मैं जबान पे बोल नहीं पा रहा हूँ कि उसको फिंगरप्रिंट्स को मैच करने के लिए उन्होंने उनके फिंगरप्रिंट्स लिए और बहुत सी, और जो टॉयलेट के अंदर जो ब्लड गिरा था उसको क्लिक करके उसका प्रोजेक्टर के ऊपर हॉल के अंदर, स्कूल हॉल के अंदर प्रोजेक्टर के ऊपर उसको दिखाया गया कि ये हरकत किसने की है, हम उसको इस पे एक्शन लेंगे। इस तरह से उन्होंने
It's shameful
Yes, ma'am.
that young girls are being subjected to this kind of humiliation by the school, their staff, and the school principal, teachers, sanitation workers. What exactly is happening here?
There are no any single facility in their school, ma'am. Any single facility.
Aparna?
Yes, बोलिए मैडम।
ये जो घटना घटी है ये बहुत ही शर्मनाक है। हम लोग 2025 में हैं, यहाँ पर हम ये बताते हैं कि महिलाओं का सम्मान हो रहा है, और ये कैसा सम्मान है कि बच्चियाँ अगर उनका पीरियड्स हो रहा है तो उनको इस तरह से ह्यूमिलिएट किया जाए।
मैम 3 दिन से बाथरूम में पानी नहीं था और लड़कियां इतनी मानसिक तनाव में गई है कि अब वो स्कूल में जाने के लिए मना कर रही है। अभी उनके अगर कोई लड़की उस कंडीशन में इतनी शौक है कि उस कंडीशन में अगर कोई लड़की सुसाइड वगैरह कर दे तो इसके लिए जिम्मेदार कौन है मैम? इतनी दर्दनाक घटना है, ये निंदनीय घटना है, अमानवीय घटना है। अभी इसके आगे तो मैं बोल नहीं सकती, लेकिन मैम जो फिर भी कल उनके चेहरे पे कोई अपराध की भावना नहीं थी, ये सबसे ज्यादा बड़ी बात है। वो हम लोगों को ही वहां पे टारगेट कर रही थी, लेकिन ये स्कूल जो है जब भी जाओ ये उनके जो मैनेजमेंट ट्रस्टीज है वो कभी कम्युनिकेट करते नहीं। उनकी ये जो प्रिंसिपल है मिसेस गायकवाड़, वो तो इतनी हिटलर है कि पेरेंट्स मीटिंग में भी पेरेंट बोले तो उनको गेट आउट कर देती है। ये लड़कियां अभी सभी लड़कियां, छोटी लड़कियां और बड़ी लड़कियां, कोई भी स्कूल में जाने के लिए तैयार नहीं है।
शाइना एनसी, इज दिस हाउ द गवर्नमेंट विल रन स्कूल्स?
हाँ, अभी
शाइना एनसी से सुन लेते हैं। जी,
Can I just come in, Marya?
Yes, please, go ahead.
I think as a mother of a girl child, first, I'm ashamed. I'm ashamed of the way both the principal and the attendant responded to this particular case. And I'm ashamed of even the larger thing where you have 4 teachers and 2 trustees, all of whom have been booked. The Protection of Children from Sexual Assault and Offences Act is a very, very serious find. And what has actually taken, this is not a political issue first for starters. It is about our society, the way we deal with situations, and especially when it comes to a girl's period or menses, as you call it, the people don't even want to discuss. I mean, I was appalled to hear that one of the daughters of the complainants was asked by the accused principal that why she was wearing a sanitary pad when she was not menstruating. Now, is this the role of the principal? The principal then accused the minor girl of lying and forcefully took her thumb impression. So please don't be under the garb that the government is not going to take this seriously. We will do what we need to, but as a society, we need to speak about our girls. That girl went home crying and told her parents about this experience. And obviously when all the parents, and I stand with आप सबके साथ मैं खड़ी हूँ क्योंकि मैं जानती हूँ कि जब कोई भी मैनेजमेंट और टीचर्स ऐसे करते हैं और ऐसे हरकत करते हैं तो then this gives the child so much mental harassment. And to girls who are going through their periods, first to get used to your biological changes, then to be stripped like this and checked. I mean, where in any school record does it say that a school principal or 4 teachers or an attendant or 2 trustees have the right to check a girl's private parts or when she is menstruating to find out where she was, what she's done, whether she's wearing sanitary pads or not? That is not the prerogative of the school, Marya.
Yes,
and
absolutely.
All the accused have been booked with Section 74, that is assault for criminal force. Section 76 for assault for criminal force.
Yes, ma'am. Let me. I have just enough time for Dr. Ranjana Kumari. Dr. Ranjana Kumari, I have no word to say after listening to the parents. I mean, is this what young
Well,
minors
not
should be
only-
subjected to?
Yeah, Marya, not only it is shameful, we should condemn it in the strongest of the word. I think this is something happening in 2025 in this country where so much of talk is about menstruation and, helping girls, making awareness about menstruation, and so much is going on. We all are campaigning, we are providing free sanitary napkins to girls, training them how to use it, how to dispose it. But in this time and age, if some school is doing that, then it really calls for our whole government's and everybody's attention to the teachers, to the principal, to how much are they trained, what is the attitude, can they really bully the parents, can they bully the girls to do what they have done, do they have any kind of right? Every citizen of this country has a right under the constitution to live in dignity. I mean, what kind of asking, maybe some child who just got her first menstruation didn't know what to do about all this. So I think this is something which really shocking beyond belief, that a principal, school teachers participating in such an activity. I think not only that they should be punished, but they should be, as Saina, your state should run a whole course for we are trying to train the girls. But in fact, the teachers need training.
Ma'am.
Teachers need to have the understanding of what to, and how to respond to. Already girls, when they start menstruating at that age, are so nervous. They are so shocked. They're already, because nobody talks to them about all this. We have dealt with many girls and they just get into a kind of trauma after getting it for some time. By the time they recognize what is happening. And that trauma, you are just going to push them to the brink. And I think one mother is, worry that one of the girls may commit suicide and do something much more serious to herself. I mean, this is something which should not be tolerated at no cost. Arrest is not enough. Just close down the school. Train
the
them
school
all.
should be shut down.
Yes.
And provisions should be made for all the students to be admitted in a good school where there is proper facility, particularly water in the washrooms is the minimum that these girls deserve. And respect, no matter whether they are having their periods or not having their periods, they cannot be subjected to this kind of humiliation. Absolutely unacceptable. Aparna, Javed Sheikh, China NC and Dr. Ranjana Kumari, I appreciate your time. Shifting focus to our last story tonight, Garry Kasparov's wishes children are on the loose statement is most talked about in the chess world. India has given the world youngest chess world champion in Gukesh. A 3-year-old is now in FIDE rankings and a 9-year-old is drawing massive praise for holding the 5-time chess world championship to a draw in blitz format. Here is how Vishy's children are dominating the world chess.
Meet 9-year-old chess prodigy Arit Kapil, the boy who nearly beat Magnus Carlsen a couple of weeks ago. The former world champion had called Gukesh a weak player. Following that, the world champion was on a Carlsen beating spree. To humiliate the 5-time world champion further, Gukesh's compatriot Arit Kapil held the Norwegian to a draw in an online tournament called Early Title Tuesday. Tell us about that moment when you drew with Magnus.
I was very happy and I couldn't believe that I drew Magnus. I was very surprised which I drew. No, first I was thinking which I would lose, but then he gifted me some hope that his king is high, had some hope, and then he blundered.
At what point did you see that he's blundered and you pounced on?
I think queen at 7 and queen takes c7 was his mistakes, I think.
Arit played this event from his hotel room in Georgia, where he was battling for a podium finish in the Under-10 World Championship.
It could be a defining moment for him as far as the future is concerned.
Magnus Carlsen hates losing the most. For a chess player, it's everyone's dream to sort of fight against him. A career-defining moment really for chess players. And I think it comes down to one man, to Vishy Anand, really, everything that he did. I mean, he was India's first world champion.
With 85 grandmasters, India is fifth in the world. And the growth of the ecosystem is credited to one man, OG of Indian chess, Vishwanathan Anand.
I think it was such a big part of his vision that there shouldn't just be one standout player, to have this golden generation which has been built on Anand's shoulders, because जब वो खेल रहे थे तब कोई इंडिया के लिए चेस रोडमैप नहीं था. He kind of paved that path himself. We have the youngest world champion from India,
yes.
Gukesh at 18 becoming the world champion. I think Gary Kasparov, he summed it up the best, where he said that Vishy's children are on the loose.
So will an Indian challenge Gukesh in the next World Championship?
I will not be surprised, Rika, at all. I mean, you know, Prag looks like he's all set to make it to the candidates already.
Vishy's children for now are enjoying the tag of giant killers. In New Delhi, Rika Roy for NDTV.
I've been reporting on all issues big and small from Andhra Pradesh, Telangana, rest of South India, bringing you all the action, all that you need to know, all that you want to know.
The energy of Maximum City is infectious. I'm bringing that energy in our news coverage from financial capital Mumbai.
Covering from the southernmost part of India over the last 23 years, I bring in-depth and 360-degree coverage from the Dravidian heartland.
The land of Mishti, also known for its bitter politics. I have seen much water flow under the Howrah Bridge, covering Bengal in all its vivid colors.
India's IT capital is always bustling, a city full of startups, stories and surprises. And I keep you ahead on all the Bengaluru buzz.
जनता के पास सवाल ही सवाल है. जवाब ढूंढने को वो देखती है न्यूज़ और देखती है यहाँ तो सवालों का मायाजाल है. ऊपर से ये अलग फाइट है, कोई पूरा लेफ्ट तो कोई पूरा राइट है. बीच में मुद्दे के साथ कौन है, जनता को जवाब चाहिए. इसीलिए सवालों की परेड नहीं, मैं लाऊंगा खबरों की कचहरी. मैं शुभांकर मिश्रा, मेरे साथ देखिए कचहरी रात 8 बजे सिर्फ NDTV इंडिया पर.
फिनिस्टा विंडोज, ब्यूटीफुल एंड ड्यूरेबल डिजाइन्स, इंस्टॉलेशन से मेंटेनेंस की लाइफ लॉन्ग कस्टमर सर्विस. आपके घर में फिनिस्टा नहीं है तो कॉल कीजिए.
Fine Finer Finesta.
"28 days since Air India flight AI 171 fell from the sky, stealing 260 lives. Mothers, fathers, children, dreamers. Each seat held a story, now silenced, leaving families shattered, grasping for answers. 28 days of grief, of sleepless nights, of questions that burn. Why? How? Who's to blame? The world holds its breath for the preliminary crash report expected tomorrow or latest on Saturday. It's not just a document, it's a beacon of truth for those who wake each morning with an ache that will not fade. This report, even in its early form, could start to stitch together the fragments of this tragedy. It might tell us if it was a mechanical failure, a human error, or something else entirely. For the families, it's more than just data. It's a step towards closure, a chance to understand why their loved ones didn't come home. That truth, however painful, is the foundation to rebuild lives. But this report isn't just for the families. Its words will ripple across industries, shaking the foundations of giants like Air India, Boeing and General Electric. For Air India, it's a crucible. Will it reveal lapses in maintenance or crew training? Their reputation, already fragile, hangs in the balance. A single misstep could ground their fleet, erode trust, and cost billions. For Boeing, the plane's maker, the stakes are sky high. If the report points to a design flaw or manufacturing defect, it could deepen their ongoing struggles, fuel lawsuits, and trigger global scrutiny of their aircraft. Any hint of a fault in their technology could send shockwaves through their contracts, their stock, their future. This report isn't just a verdict on one flight, it's a judgment on systems, processes, and accountability. We stand at a crossroads in aviation, not just in India but around the world. This report, the crash report, the preliminary crash report of AI 171 could spark change, safer skies, stricter oversight, justice for 260 souls. But only if we listen, act, and honor their memory. 28 days of mourning must fuel our resolve. For the families, for the truth, for the future, let this report be the start of healing, not the end of hope. We need that report, and we need it now. And we'll be tracking that very closely on NDTV. Well, we're going to move on now to our big focus this evening. Once again, Gurugram, Haryana's gleaming millennium city, touted as a mini Singapore, has been reduced to a waterlogged nightmare after today's monsoon downpour. Heavy rains, a mere 13 millimeters, submerged arterial roads like Sona Road, Golf Course Extension, and Subhash Chowk under several feet of water, stranding commuters for hours in a chaotic gridlock. Cars floated, ambulances stalled, and residents waded through waist-deep floods. Their dreams of a world-class city drowned in neglect. This isn't new. Every year, Gurgaon's pathetic infrastructure crumbles under predictable rains, exposing the hollow promises of civic authorities. Despite crores which are spent, drains remain clogged. Planning is abysmal. Social media erupted with outrage, branding Gurgaon a modern-day Venice in scorn. When will the authorities wake up? Where will the city, raking in billions, get the infrastructure that it truly deserves? Well, joining us to look at this, Mr. K.T. Ravindran is a well-known urban designer. Lalit Agarwal, founder and MD of V-Mart Retail. Dr. Sunanda Banerjee, founder of Co-Emerge, a senior corporate officer, and she's at the corporate office in Gurugram. She also lives there. And Dr. Rahul Bhargav, Principal Director-in-Chief, Hematology at Fortis, Gurugram. Thank you all very much for being with us. Dr. Bhargav, let me come to you first. I think there's nothing more important than healthcare. The fact that you had ambulances which were stuck potentially may have cost lives, and this happens year after year. Your job is to save lives. That's what you've dedicated your life for, right? When you see roads clogged with water and patients who need help unable to get to a hospital, what are the thoughts that go on in your mind?
Vishnu, first of all, it's pathetic. 2016 Gurugram has not taught us a single thing. In last 9 years, this has been a hollow cry of promises and hopes that this year is going to be different. Nothing is different. Every year, one rain shows the true face of this millennium city, which contributes to through taxes and through its innovation across India. Imagine just not only Indian patients getting stuck up. You imagine this is a city which boasts about medical tourism. People across 40 countries tends to come for their healthcare needs to this city. What happens to them? As we are showing ourselves that we are to Moon and Mars and our astronauts are there, that's a matter of pride. But when you see on the roads, can that put us to shame? Can that show us the true power, superpower? It is just not us, Vishnu. When people look through the social media, when people are planning to travel from first world country to get their healthcare needs, this is a shameful act. We are not putting Gurugram, Haryana or India to shamefulness. It is entire nation has been put to the shame by showing all these clogged roads and these hollow promises. None of the politicians since yesterday has come who's accountable. You can have a horse cry, we can keep on crying on Twitter, we can have a fight, but I'm telling you, next year also it will be the same. This was Operation Sindoor, now this is Operation Road. When everybody was on the forefront to beat Pakistan, this is the time the MLA, MPs and the bureaucrats has to be on the roads to showcase what India stands for. This is not the true India. This is not the superpower the way we want to be in Gurugram. This is pathetic. This is dismal condition, the way these citizens contribute to the national growth, and what the taxpayer gets is the clogged roads. 2 hours walk for a 10 kilometers back home journey in the middle of the night. There's nothing else we can say about these pathetic conditions where the authorities and the administration has failed us miserably year by year and will continue to fail us year by year in the next coming years.
Very strong words over there, Dr. Sunanda Banerjee. It's just bizarre, isn't it, that the administration in Gurgaon sends an email alert to companies saying, oh, you know, stop working, just work from home. In 2025, how is this exactly what India's economy should not be about?
Thank you so much, and for putting up this. It's been such a challenge every year that people across corporates, people, working parents who are facing. There is so many jokes, so many WhatsApp forwards that you keep, and we just heard a lot of these nomenclatures that are put around Gurugram, Gurugram, and Singapore, and we also heard about Venice vibes. But it's so shameful that a city that's promising huge chunk of economy, huge chunk of startups that are contributing to this economy, and there is a huge population that's working, and we call it as a great cosmopolitan city. We are struggling every day to even for a simple thing like reaching office. I have parents around me who took 2 hours to reach daycare because their young children were waiting and they couldn't be at a place where they were supposed to be 2 hours before. There has been, I think, 112 recurring flood zones being declared across every year. And not a single one you have seen that all the projects around 105 crores that are in the last leg, it's always said the last leg that's happening. Corporates are experiencing immense amount of performance downpour because people are not able to, first of all, forget about reaching office, but the deadlines. Not all roles can take up, can be taken up from work from home. There are roles that need to be there. People need to be in office. They need to report, and they can't perform. They can't really work otherwise. So just issuing advisory rather than saying that, it's like, oh, you might get a heart attack, just keep a tablet with you, rather than saying that, I would make sure that we have all the, mechanisms in place to make sure that people are fit. So it's actually so much of oxymoron happening across. And you hear so many people who would keep working and, keep talking about low performance. They'll keep talking about, there's so many challenges, which is just because of civic collapse. We are not really prepared. And you talk about Disneyland now coming to Gurugram. We are definitely not ready for Disneyland. What we need is basic infrastructure in place. And also now last couple of years that you're hearing so much of investment opportunities coming up to India from other countries. What image are we putting out there? What people are looking at these pictures and saying, oh, really, this is the new India to talk about? Millennium City, right? And people are stuck. They are so much in trouble. And then managers calling up and them saying that, I just need to get this done this way or the other. So who's actually responsible? Who's answerable? And yesterday, in fact, it's so interesting. Yesterday, it was my son's birthday. People got stuck. They were coming back from office. People got stuck 3.5 hours for a distance of 5 kilometers. Can you imagine? And people had to report back to office the next day. And just an advisory that honestly didn't work, because you know what? The advisory was optional. There were officers that still compelled people to come, who had to leave with their young children, who had to be dropped at school 2 hours before the office time, and they were reaching home at 1 a.m. What kind of millennium city we are talking about? What kind of investment opportunities we are talking about? I'm very unsure.
You know what Dr. Bhargav actually said, Sunanda, is something that struck me. He said this keeps happening year after year. And if I was to actually play out images of this scenario from last year, the videos, or from the year before, or the year before that, nobody over here, none of our viewers would actually be able to tell the difference. It's just the same. So we've got that up on our screen, 2022, 2023, 2024, and 2025. You know, the models of the cars have changed, but that's about it. It's a ridiculous situation. And it is truly a crying shame. KT Ravindran, why does Gurgaon's drainage system consistently fail? Mr. Ravindran, can you hear me? All right, we'll come to him in just a moment. But Lalit Agarwal, let me come to you first. What were some of the problems that you as a founder and MD of V-Mart Retail faced to run your own business?
Yeah, hi Vishnu. So definitely, I mean, there's a chaos. We run our office here, we run stores here, and not only this city, but there are multiple such cities in India which faces similar problem. But yes, Gurugram has been one of them where we have seen rapid unplanned urbanization which has happened, and this has definitely outpaced the development of robust civic infrastructure, and particularly the drainage system that has been very, very faulty, and it lacks those comprehensive and functional drainage plan. But I think, yeah, as a retailer, as a business person, as a corporate MD of a corporate organization, we do face these challenges. Typically, I mean, this city doesn't have a challenge only during these difficult times, but every day at 9 a.m. in the morning, every day at 6:30 in the evening, 6 o'clock in the evening, we face similar challenges. We face people coming from all over the world into this city, leaving this city to Delhi or to NCR. So I think there are challenges of traffic handling. There are challenges of understanding the kind of infrastructure which is required versus the kind of availability which is there. There are challenges even in terms of the civic senses that people have. I mean, and it is just not authorities which we should hold responsible for, but it is also the citizens who live here, who work here, who come here, and who the way they adhere to their own duties and their own ways in which they should dispose of the wastage, or they should treat the city also. And I think there are definitely challenges that we as a retailer face, just not because we are operating a store here, but I look at it more like a citizen and a person who work here, and the kind of difficulty that people face and the time wastages that we see. It is a label, it is a brand of India, Gurugram itself and Delhi-NCR itself. And I think we can't treat this city like this. We can't treat our citizens like that. And it is just not our citizens, as someone said, there are multiple kind of tourism which is happening, multiple kind of corporates which visits this city, and it is a fame that we all are impacting. So I think there is a more heavy preparedness which is required for these monsoons, which is very important. There is definitely more better quality of project execution which is required, where definitely insufficient work is happening in the desilting.
You know, Mr. Agarwal, I sometimes feel, and this is true not just of Gurgaon, which is the worst, of course, but several other parts of the National Capital Region, that they probably can't get the situation fixed. They probably cannot dig up the drainage system, which is antique, and actually replace it. They are physically incapable of doing that. I live in South Delhi for the last 3 months. I've been trying, with the help of the municipal authorities, to try and get a sewer line changed, because fresh water and sewer water were mixing. The monsoons have arrived and the work is still not finished. This has been going on for more than 2 months, and this is for just a small stretch. But on an area as large as this, I think we need to ask larger questions. Have we overbuilt a place like Gurgaon without basic drainage, sewerage, and road systems having been developed, with no vision for the future and how much infrastructure or construction this area can actually take? I mean, it's too late now, and people, millions of people, will just have to live like this. I mean, and that perhaps is that scary reality. I mean, you have trucks going into holes in 2025. What exactly are we looking at? But let me go across to Ratan Dhillon. Ratan is a commuter on a daily basis. Can you tell us what problems you faced yesterday and today?
Like every monsoon, Gurugram people aren't celebrating the rains. They are preparing to survive the rains. We can see the large skyscrapers, the high-rise buildings. But what's the point of those high-rise buildings if we are getting the basic needs like the water, the pollution, the clean air, the clean water roads, the roads we are not clean? What's the point of building those buildings? So, and government is making the high-rise buildings, skyscrapers. जो offices, बड़े-बड़े offices देख सकते हैं आप, the large hoardings of the political parties. What's the point of that? The common man, the everyday commuter, or the resident of Gurgaon people only wants the two basic necessities. That's the clean air and the roads, good road conditions, and there's no rainwater standing there.
Let me just go back to Dr. Bhargav. What were some of the reports you were getting from your hospital today of ambulances stuck, of people being unable to get to hospital? Could you tell us what you heard?
Yeah, Vishnu, there are a lot of ambulances got stuck because people didn't had any choice to go anywhere, because all it was waterlogged and land grid. It was situation, there was a traffic jam all across all red lights. There is no system. So let me ask the people through you, are we the only city in the world who has grown so fast? Are we the only ones who has our economic ambitions to grow and become a developed country? None of the countries in US, none of the countries in Europe did ever had this growth spurts. Problem is the basic civic sense in the minds of the people, in the minds of the bureaucrats, and in the minds of the politician is completely missing. We are trying to reach to the moon and the Mars of this world, but we are not trying to solve the problem which is on ground, which is hurting us every day, which is bad roads, poor water supply, bad air quality. We are not talking about that because neither these are election issues. These are not issues to be talked about. These are unaccountable issues, and people at large like you, me, and all people sitting on this dais has got one duty: work hard, give your taxes, blind yourself, and keep on suffering. That's the attitude where the government has now gone down. You continue to suffer. It doesn't matter. Your pain does not matter. It will happen today. Mark my words, it will be next year, it will be next year, it will be next year, because we have the capacity to build skyscrapers, we have a capacity to build Disneylands, but we do not have the will to solve the civic problems. Whether it be Delhi, whether it be Gurgaon, we all want to milk the economic benefits, right? Reap the economic benefits, but we do not want to solve the problems. Whether ambulance gets stuck, people died. Yesterday, did anybody report that how many people died? 2 people in front of our eyes, in front of our house, died because they got stuck. They got stuck up into the manholes. Where was this? The DC office puts some photos, MCG and DC office puts the photos that somebody is cleaning the roads after the water has got logged in. What were they doing for past 6 months? Where the 500 crore rupees has gone, which has been told that we are digging these roads because the future will be bright. So we suffered in summers, we suffered in winters, and to face the same thing in the monsoons. Is there any accountability? Is there any person, Vishnu, who will be accountable today? Is the MCG commissioner, DC collector, MCG, Mahapaurs, mayors, or the politician will be held accountable? Will anybody ask? No. Nobody will be asked, because the common man has to suffer, and they will continue to suffer till they stand up and ask that these are the election issues.
No, that's
and if
exactly
you do
my
not
point.
give this, will not do it.
It's just like air pollution in our country is not an election issue. It just strikes me that infrastructure is perhaps for some of the most heavily congested urban areas on earth. It's still not an issue which our political leaders take seriously enough.
And we should just remember the Camellia house went at 106 crores. One alcohol shop on Bristol Chalk went at 98 crore rupees. But we do not have the civic sense. All this money was pocketed by MCG and the government, but they didn't have the clue to solve our water problems. Can you beat this? 105 crore Camellia house and 98 crore rupees liquor shop has not been able to solve our woes because we are common citizen. Because
And
it
the
does not
confidence-
matter.
Yeah,
And the confidence of politicians is so high that they are planning to conduct the Olympic Games here. Look at the confidence of the politicians.
Sunanda, no, I think what does one say? Sunanda, is it not as a tax-paying, we're all taxpayers on this panel, and we all secretly complain about how a large percentage of our salaries every month gets debited at source and gets transferred to the government, whichever government, the center, the state. And at the end of the day, we are wading through water, or all of you in Gurugram are wading through water to go home. And you're stuck indefinitely in cars. And is that not frustrating? Where is your money going? The basic requirement is, basic infrastructure. A road is basic. Clearing up drain water is basic. Is that not a huge frustration for you?
In fact, thank you for bringing me in at this point, Vishnu, because I so agree with Dr. Bhargav. It's funny and it's sad at the same time that you have these 4-5 key large builders in the city, right? I'm sure everybody knows there are 4-5 big names that's operating majority of your luxury segment of infrastructure, real estate. Now, when you go in these societies, of course, it's a different world. It's a different way of working, and you have these, wonderful, posh. You don't know where the money is coming from in a lot of these places, but just outside these societies, it's full of potholes. It's so amazing and it really surprises me that how these people can claim, and as citizens, I think not just government, let's not completely blindly blame one side, because somewhere or the other, let's face it, we are responsible, right? We all have seen the percentage of voting in last year as well, and especially in Gurugram. So no matter how fancy champagnes and wines that people are popping in their homes, they're still not stepping out to vote. So I believe no duties, no rights, right? No right to speak, no right to have a voice. So when infrastructure falls so badly, people who are sitting in homes and in their penthouses and cribbing about it, I don't think we have the right completely, because the taxpayers, again, a very small segment, voters, a very small segment. So what we are doing is, of course, now these wonderful real estate, they are, I'm sure you might have also visited some, Vishnu. They are a beauty in itself, right? They are amazing. You feel really a different land altogether. But as soon as it comes to a duty piece, you see how people park cars and how they want to cut lanes when, especially even last night, when we all have seen from our balconies, people have been cutting lanes left, right, and center, getting the traffic worse, which already it is. And there are poor auto rickshaw walas, and you have Zomato, Swiggy guys who are drenched and in really bad condition, and people are honking behind them like mad people. So I don't know who completely to blame, which side to completely put onus on. How, as responsible citizens, if we have been mindful also of our, let's say, waste disposal, of how our society sewerage, is it working right or not? RWAs of societies, are they mindful enough? I understand you cannot take up everything, but what about our set of duties as well? So when people splash water on two-wheeler people sitting in their Mercedes and shouting at them, it's also a lot of, you see, Gurugram as a city, NCR as a region itself.
Yeah.
We are still not able to have that.
No, I take, Sunanda, the point that you're mentioning, that there needs to be this convergence of what what citizens do and what the government does. But I must say, and as much as I completely agree with you, I do believe that's a topic for another day. Because just look at this. Where is our government? Where are our roads? Where is the sense of actually doing something about it? Because it's going to take years to fix this.
What's the point of collecting the road tax?
Yeah.
I would say, if we weren't able to drive our cars on the road, what's the point of collecting road tax?
Can you imagine the damage done to cars which have been sinking on insurance costs alone? Look, I'll leave it over there. I'd like to thank you all very much for joining us. And the little thing that we can do here in NDTV is start a campaign, which we are doing. It focuses not just on Gurugram, but it focuses on the condition of roads in several parts of the country. When it rains, our roads disappear. There's so much more that needs to be done. Let's think about civic infrastructure. Let's think about infrastructure everywhere from a holistic perspective, because without that, we aren't ever really going to grow in the way that we want. We'll take a short break, more coming up.
ब्लॉकेज एरियाज काफ़ी हैं, पानी का कोई समाधान नहीं है, समस्या का समाधान इन्हें ढूंढना पड़ेगा। कल आपने कल देखते इतना पानी था कमर कमर तक।
में भी हेल्प की, बीमारी में हेल्थ।
If you are planning to settle in Canada, here's the money twist you need to know before you pack those bags. Canada has quietly tightened the purse strings on its express entry system. So if you're applying under the Federal Skilled Worker or Skilled Trades program, there's a new financial bar to cross. Starting now, to stay in the race for Canadian permanent residency, you must update your proof of funds by the 28th of July 2025. Miss that? You could lose your eligibility no matter how good your profile is. So how much is enough? Well, a solo applicant now needs 15,263 Canadian dollars. That's approximately 9.5 lakh rupees. If you're a family of 4, that's 28,362 Canadian dollars, and that's roughly 17,73,000 rupees. Basically, the more people in your family, the higher the amount, even if some aren't moving with you. Why this hike then? Well, it's tied to Canada's low income cutoff data, basically their benchmark to ensure you can survive without needing help. And you also need to note that updating your fund amount won't affect your original application date, so you stay right where you are in the tiebreaker queue. So if you're dreaming of maple leaves and better opportunities, make sure your bank account is ready for this immigration reality.
बदलाव की इच्छा रखने वाले लोग, उनको ये तय करना है कि वो जनसुराज जैसे नए विकल्प को चुनते हैं कि फिर पिटे पिटाए अपनी पूरी पुरानी व्यवस्था में जाना चाहते हैं।
मैं चिराग पासवान पूरी तरीके से बिहार विधानसभा का चुनाव लड़ने के लिए तैयार हूँ और तत्पर।
तेजस्वी जी मुख्यमंत्री बने हैं, हमारी पूरी सपोर्ट है उनको। हम किंग मेकर की भूमिका में रहना चाहते हैं।
कि लोग घर से बाहर नहीं निकल पाते थे।
प्रधानमंत्री जी को बताना चाहिए कि इनका जो बिहार में जो सरकार है, 50% जो नीतीश जी की मंत्रिमंडल में जो लोग बैठे हैं वो परिवारवादी लोग हैं। वो अपने आप को भी परिवारवादी बोले।
जंगल राज लाने वाले मौका देख रहे हैं, अपने पुराने कारनामे करने का मौका ढूंढ रहे हैं।
Some say sport is a matter of life and death. The truth is, it is far more serious than that. Sport is about ecstasy and agony, about pain and suffering, about joy and much more. Some say there's no one better to tell these stories. So here I am. Join me, Marya Majumdar, on India's #1 news network.
कहना इस दीवार पे इतने इश्तहार चिपके हैं कि कोई दरार नजर नहीं।
Hello and welcome. You're watching NDTV. I'm Aditi Bhardwaj. Tonight we'll discuss if feeding stray dogs in Bengaluru or in other places a smart idea, Congress government or not. Let's before diving into that, let's take a look at the top headlines that we are tracking at this. Karnataka Chief Minister and Deputy Chief Minister D.K. Shivakumar are in Delhi. Chief Minister Siddaramaiah says that I have sought time to meet Rahul Gandhi, but Rahul Gandhi was seen meeting Gujarat Congress leaders while the duo were waiting in Delhi. NDTV confronts Shinde's MLA Sanjay Gaikwad. Sanjay Gaikwad runs away from interview when our colleague Shivarur confronted him. NDTV's tough questions make this goon neta now weak. In the Gujarat bridge collapse, now heads are rolling. 4 engineers have been suspended after 16 people died after a bridge collapsed in Vadodara. Businessman Gopal Khemka's murder. Another businessman has been shot dead in Patna. Bihar man involved in sand mining business has been shot dead outside his home. Tamil Nadu Chief Minister takes swipe at rival AIADMK Chief Edappadi Palaniswamy. Chief Minister Stalin now calls him the BJP spokesperson after forming alliance with the BJP in the upcoming state polls. Khalistani terrorist takes responsibility for the attack on Kapil Sharma's cafe in Canada. Cap's Cafe had just celebrated its opening. And our top focus tonight. In a state grappling with crumbling infrastructure, underfunded schools and a healthcare system stretched thin, the Karnataka government's decision to allocate 2.8 crore rupees to feed stray dogs chicken and eggs daily has sparked a debate. Many see this as a slap in the face to every citizen struggling to make ends meet in a state crying out for fiscal prudence. The BBMP tender to provide royal meals to stray dogs across Bengaluru's 8 zones is like an exhibition of misplaced priorities. It exposes a deeper rot in governance. Karnataka's financial woes are no secret. The state's fiscal deficit is a reality. The state is struggling to fund critical welfare schemes, repair pothole-ridden roads, and ensure basic amenities. Just months ago, the government was pleading for central funds to address drought relief and farmer distress. Yet it finds both money and wisdom to provide feast for stray dogs. While children in government schools are served watery dal and citizens dodge rabid strays on poorly lit streets, this is what the government is doing. Just think of the optics here. At a time when public trust in governance is already fragile, this move screams indifference to human suffering. Does this move mock the struggles of the common man? Is this policy humane or lopsided? Let's put this to the wonderful panel joining us tonight. Gauri Mulekhi works for People for Animals, Percival Bilamoria, Senior Advocate, MC Abbas, Political Analyst, Adnan Khan, Dog Behavior Expert and founder of the Canine School. Thank you all for joining me. Coming in for Gauri Mulekhi first. Gauri, how's your response to when the Karnataka government has decided that free meals will be provided to stray dogs?
It's a welcome decision, I'd say, to encourage looking after animals. It's not an either-or situation. You cannot ignore, one side of, humanity and only focus on one. So it's fine. It's all right. Probably a vegetarian meal served to dogs would also suffice to keep them healthy. It is true that serving animals in one way serves humans as well, because if aggression in dogs goes down, if they're not hungry or diseased or looking for food, then humans are served indirectly as well.
Rightly said so. Adnan Khan, you're a dog behavior expert. You'll be able to tell us that if we feed dogs, will it cut down in dog biting incidents?
So I see it in 3 benefits actually by this move, and this is a very inspirational move and should be modeled across the nation, because not only does it impact calmness and relaxation in the dogs once they're well fed, but this also helps us track down and reduce rabies cases, because the dogs become friendlier and more accessible to the caretakers, and also curbing the population issue that has been pertinent. It'll help us neuter the dogs as they become friendlier and more sociable to the caretakers as well. So it has multiple benefits beyond just taking care of the strays, and honestly this always points towards an evolution and development of any constituency or any community once they start taking care of nature and animals beyond just humans' personal needs.
Absolutely. We also have MC Abbas, yes, political analyst, joining us. MC Abbas, how do you feel about Karnataka government's decision to feed stray dogs?
Well, I honestly believe that, when it comes to stray dogs, they need to be relocated to shelters where they can be fed, vaccinated, and sterilized. Feeding and keeping them in a free roaming state in the streets, I believe, is a huge health and safety hazard. Let me also bring to your notice that Member of Parliament Mr. Karti Chidambaram happened to meet our Honorable Prime Minister Shri Narendra Modi ji at his Parliament office, and he highlighted the growing health and safety concerns when it comes to stray dogs in this country. Let us speak of the country. We have over 6.2 crore stray dogs, and we have one of the largest populations globally. And it remains endemic for rabies, accounting for 36% of the world's rabies-related deaths. So therefore, I think a holistic, humane, and a scientific solution is the way ahead to go. The fact of the matter that we need to emphasize on one very important point: dedicated shelter houses for the stray dogs and a long-term plan to manage this crisis. I live in Bengaluru city here in the beautiful state of Karnataka, and every Bangalorean here today will agree with me that there is a menace which is going on. So therefore, feeding them with chicken rice, taking in tenders is not going to help. Largely, if you really wish to make a difference, there needs to be a policy in standard which is working well. So the way ahead to go, I strongly believe, is sheltered houses along with the vaccination, sterilization in the long-term plan and perspective. If there is any shift, any difference to this, it is not going to make much ends meet. A temporary solution is definitely not a way to go. So therefore, I strongly advocate what Mr. Karti Chidambaram, the Honorable Member of Parliament, has proposed to Modi ji, and we must come to a solution, not just in Karnataka, but to deal with the over 6.2 crore stray dogs that we have in our country. So that I would certainly believe is the way to go ahead.
Right, Percival Bilmoria, I hope I'm taking your name correctly. How do you feel about the move? What are your thoughts?
I don't see him on the panel here.
I think you might need me.
We'll try and reconnect our line with the senior advocate. Meanwhile, let me shift this question to Gauri Muleki. Coming to you, there is a certain section of the society which feels that the people who are taking these decisions, they're also saying, the people in power, the government, the Congress government, they're also saying to the common people that we do not have funds to fulfill your wishes, the guarantees that the government made for the people. They're saying that if you get rid of those guarantees, if you do not demand, Karnataka CM's advisor only, he said that if you do not demand freebies from us, we will be able to give you more benefits and we will be able to fulfill your wishes. And at that moment, when people in Karnataka are asking more benefits from the government, this decision has irked some people.
Well, like I said, governments have various jobs to do. Looking after people, looking after animals, looking after the environment, and various facets of governance is up to them how they place their budgetary allocations into policies. But I would say that man's best friend has become a very polarizing issue here. While some people want the government to deal with them, they still oppose if the government is dealing with them in one way or another. Look, like I would agree with the dog behaviorists on your panel who clearly said that actually feeding dogs makes them friendlier, makes them easy to catch, hence aids with the animal birth control program. The birth control program is the only solution to lower their population. Mr. Abbas mentioned Mr. Karti Chidambaram's meeting with the PM. You would be better advised if you're going to put crores of dogs in confined spaces. That would only aggravate and exacerbate the problem. It would not resolve it, and that's scientifically proven. And there is a law laid down to neuter the dogs and sterilize them. That's what's going to solve the problem. The dog population is not naturally occurring, in our societies. We have created it. We have domesticated them, we have invited them into our civilizations, and now suddenly we want them to disappear. It's only going to happen humanely, in a graded fashion, in a scientific manner, and in line with the constitutional ethics that we have of humanity and compassion.
Right. Ambika Shukla, how do you see this, move when it comes to the dog biting incidents also? We saw how a dog mauled, a kid on the streets in Bengaluru. Right after that, such decisions, will it help curbing such incidents?
Well, I'd like to point out, every municipality so far, we all know that every city has animals, and yet very few civic bodies actually plan for these animals. We don't cater for their food, we don't cater for their water, we don't cater for their shelter, we ignore them entirely, we just use them and throw them. So every city needs, and I think Bangalore is making a wonderful, wonderful example. For the first time, the municipality is not antagonistic. Animals are not our enemies. They are not encroachers on earth. They are our fellow beings, and they belong here just as much as we do. So when we refer to animals, they are not a menace. We've heard of the cattle menace, the cow menace, the bird menace, the dog menace, the monkey menace. Animals are not a menace. Animals, many of them were living here before we did. Delhi, for example, was a jungle. In our own lifetime, we've seen how the Asiad Stadium was created out of a forest. So monkeys were natural citizens of Delhi long before many of us were. And for us to call them a menace is a bit laughable, because we have stolen their homes and we have taken their spaces. And for now to say that we should remove them to shelters, it's like saying imprison them. No, it doesn't solve the problem. And it's an impractical, completely failed solution, because we've tried it before, it didn't work. Those same pounds were converted into ABC centers, which is working wonderfully. The rabies cases are now down to less than 100 a year. In fact, only 54 cases a year, down from 20,000, only because of the ABC program, which depends on feeding. This is the first time that a municipality, instead of saying beat, chase, hit, catch, remove, is actually saying, let's try it the other way. Let's try it with friendliness. Let's try it with kindness. Let's try it with food. What does a dog ask for at the end of the day? Only food. He's not asking you for malls. He's not asking you for cinema houses. He's not asking you for petrol pumps. He's not asking you for anything. We are just giving him the very basic. And these are our fellow beings who share our city with us. And it's as ridiculous to say they don't deserve food and we should look at other priorities. Everything, like Gauri said, every government has space for animals, for humans, for the environment, for various priorities. And it's not an either or. So we should be looking at it holistically. And I think it's an excellent move forward and something that should be replicated around the country.
Okay, MC Abbas, please respond to that.
Well, I heard the previous speaker. I think she took offense to me saying menace. Respected ma'am, would you look in the eye of the mother of the child who was mauled to death here in Bengaluru? Look in her eye and please say it's not a menace. Ma'am, it's a catastrophe. It's a tragedy. These are real cases that we speak about. If there is a menace, there are no two ways about it. It's very comfortable for you to say that it is not, ma'am. This is a fact and we must come to it and agree to it. And I'm absolutely categorically stated that I'm not against feeding of the stray dogs. They are even better than, I would say, us human beings. But the fact of the matter is, there needs to be better reforms here. Temporary feeding is not the solution. We are not against feeding them, but providing them, I did not say only shelter, but houses as shelters for them. Much better way, not mere prisons or jails or bad conditions. All I'm trying to say is there needs to be a holistic measure. If you heard me previously, I said holistic and I said humane. That is the way to go about. And you spoke of animal birth control, ma'am. Let me quote NDTV article, India Today article, and tell you that the animal birth control rules of 2023, the implementation has been ineffective. Ineffective being the word. The fact of the matter is we need a national task force on this front. Stray dogs have every right as much as we humans to exist here. Earth belongs to every single human or animal on this planet, including trees. But the fact is, governments involved, be it the state and the center, needs to bring in much better reforms. Feeding them for a couple of days is not enough. Also, you need to look at bureaucracy here. You need to see the bids coming in here. Are you even aware that over the last 10 years, BBMP elections are not even held? We don't even have the right corporators or municipal right people there to take it. The fact, how will you operate when there are no 10 years of elections being held? The fact is, scientific solution is the way to go. The center needs to implement the ABC, animal birth control, in the right way. It has to become effective. The fact is, we as citizens of these countries, of RWA societies, all must come together, not just one being, and then make it a much larger difference. We debating the comfort of our homes is not going to help.
Okay, Adnan Khan,
I'd like to derive here.
I would like to bring you in now. Adnan Khan, how do you see, is this the way to go forward in every state? This should be the precedent now?
Aditi, this is absolutely, the first step towards what the public has been requesting, that the government focuses towards the stray dogs. While let's just remove the heuretics about menace or not menace, the fact was that there was a lot of news articles and news incidents where we were here as well, where there were bite incidents being, flared up. And finally, if we are able to keep track of the dogs that are there, keep a population control, and interacting with them is finally where the ABC would happen. And I will willingly train all of the caretakers to understand the behavior changes at a more regular level. I'll happily do it pro bono, voluntarily go right there and teach the guys to scan the behaviors, and we can literally pick out the dogs who could be predictably challenging to the public, and we could rehabilitate them on site itself. And this, I think, directly tackles the problem of bite incidents that people were bringing to the government actually.
Okay, thank you so much all of you for joining me. Gauri Mulekhi, Ambika Shukla, MC Abbas, Adnan Khan, thank you so much all for joining me on this very crucial topic. And we have some breaking news coming in at this hour. The Ministry of External Affairs has reacted to Punjab Chief Minister Bhagwant Mann. The MEA has said that comments made by what they called a high state authority on India's relation with friendly countries from the global south were irresponsible and regrettable. My colleague Vishnu Shom is also joining me on the phone line. Vishnu, tell us more about the statement that is coming in from the MEA.
Well, this is a statement made in response to the Punjab Chief Minister Bhagwant Mann, who criticized the Prime Minister for his foreign travels. He's been back in the country today. And Bhagwant Mann said, I think it is Ghana. He's going to be back and is welcome. God knows which countries he keeps visiting. He does not stay in a country with 140 crore people. He visits countries where the population is 10,000 and he's getting the highest awards. Now, the External Affairs Ministry has said quite clearly that these remarks are utterly unacceptable remarks and that they impact India's relations with friendly countries. In fact, the External Affairs Ministry spokesperson has said that those remarks are irresponsible and regrettable and do not behove the state authority. The government of India disassociates itself from such unwarranted comments that undermine India's ties with friendly countries. The Prime Minister has been traveling extensively in parts of Africa, Ghana, in Namibia, South America as well, where he's traveled to Argentina, to Brazil as well. And there was the BRICS summit. So these are absolutely critical parts of India's foreign policy, and therefore if you've got a chief minister slamming the prime minister for these visits, which are otherwise so important, on what appear to be bizarre grounds, then, it is unfortunate. And the External Affairs Ministry, and you don't often have the External Affairs Ministry actually hitting out at a chief minister of a state, but on this occasion they've done just that.
Absolutely, Vishnu, and this is not the first time that the opposition has slammed Prime Minister's tour. Before that, many opposition leaders have spoken against it. Do tell us about, what is the important role that it plays when it comes to the geopolitics?
Well, these are extremely important visits. I mean, over a period of several decades, India has worked very, very closely to build up ties with a country like Ghana. Our Africa policy is absolutely central to our foreign policy. Therefore, if you've got a chief minister making fun of the names of the countries which Prime Minister Modi visited, it's bizarre and frankly quite ridiculous to hear a chief minister talk about that. If there has to be criticism about the Prime Minister's travels or any aspect of India's foreign policy, then anybody can make it. But why make fun of the names of countries or of the countries themselves Why make fun, for example, of Ghana? Why make fun of the fact that it's less populated than India? That impacts how people in Ghana would look at elected representatives here in India. And therefore, the External Affairs Ministry will not have any of it. And they've hit out. And, to have a spokesperson, an officer in the External Affairs Ministry to actually issue a statement, hitting out at an elected representative is extremely rare, fairly uncalled for. But they've done just that because these are offensive remarks, not just from a political standpoint, but also in terms of the functioning of the External Affairs Ministry.
Absolutely. And Vishnu, do tell us about, regarding this tour that was undertaken by the Indian Prime Minister. The BRICS summit was also there, which the Prime Minister attended. Do highlight the significance of that event as well.
Well, BRICS was absolutely critical. BRICS, India has been a founder member of the entire BRICS motion. There were also critical, conversations which took place on terrorism. India reached out, the Prime Minister, to several leaders, including the leader of Brazil, where, he spoke about the need for international support in India's fight against terrorism. At the BRICS summit as well, he said that it wasn't, enough for nations to actually make random remarks on terrorism, and that there had to be absolute resolve and commitment to the fight against terror. And so, this is all a key part of what India has to say and what India believes in. So therefore, to be in a situation where the Prime Minister makes these, where the Chief Minister of Punjab makes these remarks, making fun of the Prime Minister's visit, making fun of the names of nations, it's utterly uncalled for. By all means, be critical of India's foreign policy, but in a manner like this, where you are mocking the Prime Minister, mocking separate nations, is something which would, it offends the Foreign Service community, it offends the political leaders, and perhaps most significantly, it potentially serves to offend nations where we have excellent relations with.
And highlighted by you, Vishnu. Thank you so much for joining us. We also have the reaction of Punjab Chief Minister Bhagwant Mann on what he said about the Prime Minister's tour. Take a look.
प्रधानमंत्री जी गए हुए मेरे घाना गए, कहाँ गए? आगे आज आ जाएंगे? चलो देश में वेलकम करेंगे उनका. पता नहीं कौन कौन से कंट्री, मग्नेशिया, गलवेशिया, तरवेशिया, पता नहीं कहाँ जा रहे हैं. जहां 140 करोड़ बंदा रह रहा है, वहां रह नहीं रहे वो. और जिस कंट्री में जा रहे हैं उनकी आबादी कितनी? 10,000. और सबसे बड़ा अवार्ड वहां का मिल गया. 10,000 तो भाई साहब जेसीबी देखने के लिए खड़ा हो जाता है यहाँ. जेसीबी चल रही है, जेसीबी हुए.
And now shifting our focus to other stories, amid Karnataka Chief Minister change talk, Karnataka Chief Minister Siddaramaiah and Deputy Chief Minister DK Shivakumar are in Delhi. Now, Karnataka Chief Minister has sought time to meet Congress MP and leader Rahul Gandhi. While Rahul Gandhi was busy throughout the day, first with Bihar elections, Siddaramaiah said that there is no response from Rahul Gandhi. But today, earlier in the day, Rahul Gandhi was seen meeting leaders from Gujarat. The visuals are on your screens. Is there some hint in it or not remains to be seen, but listen in what the reaction is coming in from the Karnataka Chief Minister.
You are going to meet Mr. Rahul Gandhi with Kumar Saab?
No, he has not given any appointment to me. I sought an appointment to meet Rahul Gandhi ji today. So far, no information.
And my colleague Prashant is also joining me. Prashant, do tell us about the meeting that was planned between Karnataka Chief Minister and Congress MP Rahul Gandhi.
Well, as you just heard, Siddaramaiah saying that he had sought an appointment with Rahul Gandhi, but so far he has not been given the appointment. And my, information is that tomorrow Rahul Gandhi is going to Odisha for a public rally. So he'll be leaving Delhi by 9 a.m. And Siddaramaiah and his Deputy Chief Minister DK Shivakumar, they are in Delhi, but I have been told that DK Shivakumar is likely to leaving Delhi tonight itself, and Siddaramaiah is leaving Delhi by tomorrow noon. So that means that both of these leaders, Siddaramaiah and DK Shivkumar, will have no meeting with Rahul Gandhi. It is really ironical that while Rahul Gandhi has time to meet leaders from other states, but a very key state where they have a government, and the chief minister is staying in Delhi, is waiting for an appointment with Rahul Gandhi. But Rahul Gandhi has not given any appointment to Siddaramaiah and DK Shivkumar. But we can understand the predicament that Rahul Gandhi is facing. The supporters of DK Shivkumar is asking for a leadership change. They're demanding a leadership change in Karnataka. But so far as I know, the central leadership of Congress is up to now, they are not eager to change the leadership in Karnataka. So to save themselves from this, embarrassment, Rahul Gandhi might have chosen not to meet any of the two leaders. So these two leaders, one DK Shivkumar is leaving Delhi tonight, and tomorrow Siddaramaiah will be leaving by noon.
Thank you so much, Prashant, for joining us and giving all those details. And now shifting our focus to Bihar, where another murder has taken place. A 50-year-old man involved in the sand mining business was shot dead outside his home in Patna. Now the victim, Ramakant Yadav, was attacked by unidentified armed people near his residence in Thane village. He was rushed to the nearest government hospital but was declared brought dead. This came days after Gopal Khemka, a well-known businessman, was shot dead outside his home in Patna on Friday night, and also raises questions of law and order in the state when elections are due. Take a look at the reactions coming in, and my colleague Prabhakar is also joining us with more details.
रानी तालाब थाना क्षेत्र के अंतर्गत एक गांव है धाना, वहां के एक व्यक्ति जिनका नाम रमाकांत यादव है, उनकी उम्र लगभग 50 वर्ष है। उनको गोली लगी है, फायरिंग की एक घटना हुई थी और उनको इलाज के लिए हॉस्पिटल में रेफर कर दिया गया था। वहां डॉक्टरों द्वारा उन्हें मृत घोषित कर दिया गया है। प्रथम दृष्टया हत्या का मामला पुलिस के सामने आ रहा है। हम लोग इसमें जाँच कर रहे हैं और एक एसआईटी का गठन भी हम लोगों ने कर दिया है और इसमें एफएसएल को बुला लिया गया है। अग्रिम अनुसंधान के क्रम में जो कुछ भी आएगा वो आप लोगों से शेयर किया जाएगा।
Yeah, even before the incident of infamous Gopal Khemka murder case could fade away from people's memory, two major crime incidents has again shook the state of Bihar. The one happened in Paliganj, the Paliganj area of Patna, which is the rural suburb of Patna, around 40 kilometers from here. A sand mafia, a sand dealer was shot dead called Ramakant Yadav. He was actually taking the evening stroll outside his house in Paliganj in the Rani Talab village at Paliganj. And remember, the distance from that particular place where this incident happened is around 40 kilometers from the state capital. And this guy was involved in the sand business for long. His brother was also shot dead around 10 years back in a similar fashion. And today, Ramakant Yadav was taking a stroll outside his house when the motorcycle-bound criminals came and shot at him, and he was then later taken to hospital and he was declared brought dead. The body has been kept in the hospital, and the senior cops have reached the spot, and they are saying that they're looking into the details as to whether it was a business rivalry or some kind of family dispute or a land dispute as it is seen. But this guy called Ramakant Yadav, who was shot, actually he had several criminal cases upon him, and he was also named in few of the murders in past. So that is one angle also which the police is probing.
And on that note, it's a wrap from my side. Keep watching NDTV.
这就是实务谈的典型特点。弹射牵引杆，它配合航母上的弹射机构，然后拉着它走，最后释放，就走了。因为飞机的姿态是这样的，然后等到让尾钩一挂上以后，前起落架，啪，它就会扎到甲板上。那么这个呢，一是对它的强度的考验，第二个呢，对前起落架这个吸能，也是一个重要的技术难点。你可以看到这个起落架非常粗，工业水平整体现在我们也在进步，未来我们希望它结构要细一点、轻一点，飞机越轻，空中的性能越好。
कहना इस दीवार पे इतने इश्तहार चिपके हैं कि कोई दरार नजर नहीं आती। मैं उन लोगों में से जो कहता हूँ सारे इश्तहार फाड़ के फेंको, पहले दरार को एड्रेस करो।
ये दरार इसलिए क्योंकि कुछ लेफ्ट कुछ राइट, पर हम उन मुद्दों में आपके साथ जिनसे आपकी फाइट है। डिजिटल से देश समझा, अब टीवी पर समाधान लाना है। आइए मेरे साथ।
Warm welcome to everyone who's watching NDTV right now. I am Aditi Bhardwaj. Let's take a look at the top stories that we are tracking here at this hour. Karnataka Chief Minister Siddaramaiah and Deputy Chief Minister D.K. Shivakumar are in Delhi amid Karnataka CM change talk. CM Siddaramaiah has sought time to meet Rahul Gandhi, but Rahul Gandhi hasn't met the leaders yet. Meanwhile, Rahul Gandhi was seen meeting Gujarat Congress leaders this evening. NDTV confronts Shinde's MLA Sanjay Gaikwad. Sanjay Gaikwad runs away from the interview midway when asked tough questions by my colleague Shiv Arur on the slap case that he was involved in during a brawl in canteen. Gujarat bridge collapse. 4 engineers have now been suspended, where 16 people died after the bridge collapsed in Vadodara. Days after businessman Gopal Khemka's murder, another businessman shot dead in Patna. Bihar man involved in sand mining business shot dead outside his home. Tamil Nadu Chief Minister M.K. Stalin takes a swipe at rival AIA-DMK chief. CM Stalin says EPS is now the official BJP spokesperson after forming alliance with the Bharatiya Janata Party ahead of state elections. Khalistani terrorists take responsibility for the attack on Kapil Sharma's cafe in Canada. Cap's Cafe had just celebrated its opening when it was vandalized by Khalistani goons. And the top focus here tonight is the restaurant recently launched by comedian Kapil Sharma in Columbia in Canada came under fire on Wednesday night with multiple bullets hitting the cafe and neighboring buildings. While no injuries were reported, the attack has triggered concern among local residents and the Indian diaspora in the area. Owned by Sharma and named Cap Cafe, the restaurant was opened last weekend in the heart of the country and had quickly become a popular spot for the Indian community. According to the cops, several rounds were fired at the property. Bullet marks were found on the cafe's wall as well as other areas in the nearby residential buildings. The area was sealed off. CCTV footage is being scanned and spent bullet casings have been recovered. A forensic investigation is also underway. Meanwhile, Khalistani terrorists have taken responsibility for the attack. My colleague Maha Siddiqui is also joining me with more details.
Kapil Sharma's latest venture, the Cap Cafe in Canada, was witness to an unsavory and a shocking incident of 8 rounds being fired at the establishment. The Surrey police that is investigating the matter confirmed that they got a call at 1:50 a.m. on the 10th of July and that the firing was aimed at this establishment while there were staff still inside. No one has been injured in the firing incident, but there has been damage to property. The Surrey police say that they have canvassed the area, they have spoken to the staff, as well as they are looking out for witnesses and surveillance camera footage that could help them piece together this incident. Meanwhile, the Surrey Police's frontline investigation support team will now take this investigation further by looking at whether this incident could be connected to any other incident in the past and what the possible motive could be. The Surrey police say that so far they have not zeroed in on any suspect. But reports from India suggest that a banned terror outfit, Babbar Khalsa International, could be involved in this shooting. It is noteworthy here also that the Premier of British Columbia, David Eby, had recently said that he would write to Prime Minister Mark Carney about the threats and the extortion calls that the business community in British Columbia is receiving, and he had claimed that these are from outfits or gangs that are operating out of India and threatening the business community in the province of British Columbia as well as Ontario. In specific, he had spoken about the Lawrence Bishnoi gang, saying that he wants it to be declared a terror outfit. In Vancouver, this is Maha Siddiqui for NDTV.
And now to the top political story that has reached the court. The Supreme Court today made it clear that it will not stay the ongoing special intensive revision of electoral rolls in Bihar, but raised serious concerns about its timing, intent and safeguards. While acknowledging that there is some logic to the Election Commission's effort to clean up the voter list, the court also flagged grave risk of exclusion, especially so close to the assembly polls. It reminded the Election Commission of India that citizenship verification is the domain of the Union Home Ministry and cautioned against using the revision process as a proxy for deciding citizenship. Take a look at the reactions coming in.
समझता हूं कि सबसे पहले तो माननीय सर्वोच्च न्यायालय का शुक्रिया। हाहाकार मचा हुआ था पूरे बिहार में, जिंदगियां उथल पुथल में थी। एग्जैक्ट अगर मैं वर्ड कहूं माननीय सर्वोच्च न्यायालय का कि प्राइमा फेसी we believe that election commission must consider, यानी कि इलेक्शन कमीशन को स्वीकार करना चाहिए कि ये जो 3 दस्तावेज हैं, आधार कार्ड, EPIC वोटर आईडी कार्ड और राशन कार्ड को उन दस्तावेजों की श्रृंखला में शामिल करना चाहिए ताकि मैक्सिमम लोग इंक्लूड किए जा सके। मैं समझता हूं करोड़ों बिहारियों की जीत है। इस प्रक्रिया को पारदर्शी बने रहना चाहिए। अप्रोच ये होना चाहिए कि ये इंक्लूजन में तब्दील हो, एक्सक्लूजन में तब्दील ना हो।
विपक्ष को एक बार फिर से करारा झटका लगा। सुप्रीम कोर्ट ने स्पष्ट निर्देश दिया है कि बिहार में SIR जारी रहेगा, विशेष पुनर्निरीक्षण जारी रहेगा। सुप्रीम कोर्ट का जो भी निर्देश है उसका अक्षरतः पालन होगा। इलेक्शन कमीशन का भारतीय जनता पार्टी पूर्ण सहयोग करेगी और अब तो हम ये सलाह देते हैं विपक्ष को कि अब रोना धोना छोड़े और इस पूरी प्रक्रिया में इलेक्शन कमीशन का साथ दे, क्योंकि अब सुप्रीम कोर्ट ने भी बिल्कुल स्पष्ट तौर पे कह दिया है कि ये प्रक्रिया जारी रहेगी।
Shifting our focus to Karnataka's CM drama, which has now shifted to the national capital, where Karnataka Chief Minister Siddaramaiah and Deputy Chief Minister DK Shivakumar are in the national capital and they were on a meeting fee. While the Karnataka Chief Minister Siddaramaiah said that he has sought time from Congress MP Rahul Gandhi to meet, it also highlighted one thing, that all is not well between the Congress, as Congress MP Rahul Gandhi was seen meeting leaders from Gujarat but skipped this meeting where he has given no time to the duo who are there in the national capital amid all the Karnataka CM change buzz. Take a look at the reactions coming in.
Today you are going to meet Mr. Rahul Gandhi with Kumar Saab.
No, he has not given any appointment to me. I sought an appointment to meet Rahul Gandhi ji today. So far, no information.
Well, as you just heard, Siddaramaiah saying that he had sought an appointment with Rahul Gandhi, but so far he has not been given the appointment. And my, information is that tomorrow Rahul Gandhi is going to Odisha for a public rally. So he'll be leaving Delhi by 9 a.m. And Siddaramaiah and his deputy chief minister, D.K. Shivkumar, they are in Delhi, but I have been told that D.K. Shivkumar is likely to leaving Delhi tonight itself, and Siddaramaiah is leaving Delhi by tomorrow noon. So that means that both of these leaders, Siddaramaiah and D.K. Shivkumar, will have no meeting with Rahul Gandhi. It is really ironical that while Rahul Gandhi has time to meet leaders from other states, but a very key state where they have a government, and the chief minister is staying in Delhi, is waiting for an appointment with Rahul Gandhi. But Rahul Gandhi has not given any appointment to Siddaramaiah and D.K. Shivkumar. But we can understand the predicament that Rahul Gandhi is facing. The supporters of D.K. Shivkumar is asking for a leadership change. They're demanding a leadership change in Karnataka. But so far as I know, the central leadership of Congress is up to now, they are not eager to change the leadership in Karnataka. So to save themselves from this, embarrassment, Rahul Gandhi might have chosen not to meet any of the two leaders. So these two leaders, one D.K. Shivkumar is leaving Delhi tonight, and tomorrow Siddaramaiah will be leaving by noon.
The Ministry of External Affairs on Thursday said comments made by what they called a high state authority and on India's relation with friendly countries from the global south were irresponsible and regrettable, and they do not behave and behove the state authority. The statement by MEA spokesperson Randhir Jaiswal did not name the high state authority, but came after Punjab Chief Minister Bhagwant Mann on Thursday made a sarcastic comment on Prime Minister Narendra Modi's return to India after his 5-nation tour, questioning the significance of his trips to countries with small populations. Take a look at this reaction.
प्रधानमंत्री जी गए हुए मेरे घाना गए कहाँ गए आगे आज आ जाएंगे चलो चलो देश में वेलकम करेंगे उनका पता नहीं कौन कौन से कंट्री मग्नेशिया गलवेशिया तरवेशिया पता नहीं कहाँ कहाँ जा रहे हैं जहां 140 करोड़ बंदा रह रहा है वहां रह नहीं रहे वो और जिस कंट्री में जा रहे हैं उनकी आबादी कितनी 10,000 और सबसे बड़ा वार्ड वहां का मिल गया 10,000 तो भाई साहब जेसीबी देखने के लिए खड़ा हो जाता है यहाँ जेसीबी चल रही है जेसीबी हुए
Far from showing remorse after he slapped and punched the manager of MLA Hostel's canteen in Mumbai, Sanjay Gaikwad has said he would repeat his actions if the same thing happened again. Faced with tough questions, the Shiv Sena MLA, who was speaking to NDTV's Shiv Arur, also chose the easy way out and decided to end the interview midway, claiming the audience wasn't being given an opportunity to hear his side. Take a look at this confrontation.
जी आपका स्वागत है एनडीटीवी पर। सबने देखा है कि उस कैंटीन में उस दिन क्या हुआ था। आपने एक कैंटीन स्टाफर को बेरहमी से मारा। उस दिन क्या हुआ था, किस लिए मारा आपने?
देखिए मैं 19 से यहाँ मुंबई में आता हूँ और यही कैंटीन में खाना खाता हूँ जो गवर्नमेंट की है और पिछले 5.5 साल से मैं एमएलए होने के बाद में यही खाना खाता हूँ। तो ये 2-4 साल में कई बार उन्होंने जो खाना दिया, नॉनवेज में 15 दिन पहले का नॉनवेज, 10 दिन पहले का नॉनवेज, अंडा भी 10-12 दिन का, सब्जियां 2-2, 4-4 दिन की। तो कई विधायकों के पीए ने यहाँ करीबन सालाना 1.5 लाख लोग खाना खाते। उनमें से लाखों लोगों ने इनकी कंप्लेंट की कि इनका खाना ठीक होता नहीं है, इनका बर्ताव लोगों से अच्छा नहीं है, यहाँ पर ट्रीटमेंट लोगों को अच्छी मिलती नहीं है। तो ये सारी चीज़ें लेके मैंने भी कम से कम कई बार कंप्लेंट इनकी की कि भाई मुझे पेट का तकलीफ है, मैं अगर गलत खाना खाऊंगा तो मुझे बहुत तकलीफ होती है, इसलिए मुझे खाना भेज दिया करो। उस दिन मैं सारे काम करने के बाद में मैं अपने रूम में रूटीन टाइम पर 10 साढ़े 9 साढ़े 10 बजे मैं खाने का ऑर्डर किया। मैंने दाल चावल और 2 चपाती सादा खाना मैंने मंगाया और पहला निवाला मैंने जब चावल का खाया तो मुझे थोड़ा गंदा लगा। दूसरा खाने के बाद में मुझे कुछ ही देर में वोमिटिंग हो गई। वोमिटिंग के बाद में मुझे अनईजी लगने लगा और मैं अस्वस्थ हो गया। तो मैं जैसे ही बैठा था मैंने वो दाल का स्मेल लिया तो वो इतना गंदा स्मेल था। मैं वैसे ही हालत में मैं नीचे गया क्योंकि मैं पहले फ्लोर में रहता हूँ, नीचे कैंटीन है। तो मैं वहाँ जाके काउंटर पे जो था मैंने उसको पूछा कि भाई ये खाना किसने परसा है। तो उसने उनको आवाज़ दिया। फिर मैंने वो जो वेटर था उसको पूछा भाई ये खाना तो कैसे किसने किया। तो उन्होंने बताया कि मैनेजर साहब ने। मैंने मैनेजर को बुलाया। आप जो बता रहे थे कि कर्मचारी को मारपीट की, कर्मचारी को मारपीट नहीं किए। मैंने मैनेजर को पूछा और वो स्मेल उनको दिखाया। स्मेल दिखाने के बाद में मैनेजर ने कहा कि ये बहुत गंदा है। उसके बाद में मैंने उनके 6 कर्मचारी को दिखाया कि इसका स्मेल लीजिए। यहाँ तक वहाँ जो बैठे हुए आम लोग थे जो खाना खा रहे थे, मैंने उनको बताया भाई इसका स्मेल लेके देखिए कि ये खाना है या क्या है। वो निष्कृष्ट दर्जे का खाना नहीं था, वो खाना सड़ा पड़ा खाना था। सरकार कार्रवाई करती या वो अधिकारी कार्रवाई करते तो मुझे ये कायदा हाथ में लेके क्या जरूरत थी, मुझे कोई जरूरत नहीं थी। सुनो मेरी बात। पहला सवाल कि मैनेजर को मारा है ये आपको दिख रहा है, लेकिन वो मैनेजर 1 साल में 1 लाख लोगों के जान से खेल रहा है, वो आपको दिखता नहीं क्या?
सर जो भी है आप
1 लाख लोगों की जिंदगी से खेल रहा है, उनके आरोग्य से खेल रहा है।
सर आप एक गुंडे जैसे बिहेव कर रहे हो।
सुनो मेरी
आप तो एक
आपने मेरा आपका क्वेश्चन पूरा
विधायक हो, आप गुंडे नहीं हो सर।
सुनिए
सर आप गुंडे नहीं हो, आप एक विधायक हो, आप एक इलेक्टेड रिप्रेजेंटेटिव हो, आप एक रोल मॉडल हो, आप एक पॉलिटिशियन है, आप पब्लिक लाइफ में हैं।
प्रयास मत कीजिए।
आप पब्लिक लाइफ में हैं, आपके वोटर्स हैं सर।
मेरी जिम्मेदारी मुझे पता है।
क्या ये ठीक है जो आपने
आप मेरा सच्चा जवाब सुन क्यों नहीं ले रहे?
मैं सुन रहा हूं सर।
आप लाइव कर रहे ना।
मैं सिटीजन्स के बिहाफ से आपको क्वेश्चन कर रहा हूं आज। बताइए।
नहीं मैं बात करूंगा नहीं। आप बताइए मेरी बात।
सुन रहा हूं।
मैंने जो पहले जवाब दिया है वो आप मेरी आवाज जनता तक क्यों नहीं पहुंचाते? आप बीच में क्यों टोक रहे हैं मुझे?
सर आप लाइव हैं एनडीटीवी पर।
मैं सही बात कर रहा हूं तो
आपकी जो आवाज है,
आप मेरी आवाज ब्रेक मत कीजिए। मेरा पूरा
सबने देखा है, सबने सुना है।
मैं तुम्हारी से बात नहीं करूंगा।
बोलिए सर, हम सुन रहे हैं। हम
देखो आप
लेकिन
से लेके जा
सवाल का जवाब दीजिए।
आप बीच में मत बोलिए।
जी बोलिए।
मैं सवाल का ही जवाब दे रहा हूं कि एक आदमी को मारपीट हो रही है तो आपको दिख रहा है, लेकिन वो आदमी मेरे महाराष्ट्र के 1 लाख लोगों की जिंदगी से खेल रहा है, आमदारों की जिंदगी से खेल रहा है। 50 आमदार यहाँ रहते हैं, वो दिखता नहीं आपको?
किसी ने आपको सपोर्ट नहीं किया?
नहीं है।
किसी ने आपको सपोर्ट नहीं किया?
वो तो मेरी जान ले रहा था
सर। हम आपके कंस्टिट्यूएंसी में गए हैं, कोई भी आपको आपके जो वोटर्स हैं वो भी आपको क्रिटिसाइज कर रहे हैं।
सपोर्ट की जरूरत नहीं है।
आप बिल्कुल अकेले हैं आज। एकनाथ शिंदे भी आपको क्रिटिसाइज किया है, चीफ मिनिस्टर ने भी आपको क्रिटिसाइज किया है।
आपने कोई दादा बड़े इस पे हाथ लगाया क्या? ये क्या पद्धति है? ये बात करते हैं तो मैं नहीं करूंगा बात इनसे।
आप
बोलने देता नहीं है।
आप अपने पार्टी के अध्यक्ष जो हैं सर,
कोई जरूरत नहीं उसको इंटरव्यू देने की।
गायकवाड़ साहब ऐसे मत कीजिए।
लोग देख रहे तो कर रहा है।
गायकवाड़ साहब, आपके जो पार्टी के अध्यक्ष हैं एकनाथ शिंदे, जो डेप्यूटी चीफ मिनिस्टर है महाराष्ट्र के, उन्होंने भी आपको क्रिटिसाइज किया है, उन्होंने भी बोला है। ओके, संजय गायकवाड़ इज रनिंग अवे फ्रॉम एनडीटीवी's क्वेश्चंस आफ्टर बिहेविंग लाइक अ गुंडा एंड अ गून. ही इज वॉकिंग अवे from NDTV's questions. Let's keep those pictures on our screen there. You can see he's walked off, torn off NDTV's mic and just walked off because he can't take a few questions. Have I raised my voice? I've not raised my voice. Asking him normal questions the way NDTV always does. But that is the true worth of this Shinde Sena MLA Sanjay Gaikwad of Buldana.
Shifting our focus to another story from Maharashtra, where girls were forced to strip for period check after blood stains were found in the bathroom. Angry parents protested inside the school and demanded that the principal of the school should be arrested. It is a very shameful incident and has come to light in a big school in Thane, due to which parents are angry. It is reported that after seeing blood drops in the school bathroom, the school administration took the girl students of class 5th to class 10th to the bathroom and got it checked, with the suspicion that the bathroom might have become dirty due to menstruation. Now, after the uproar, 5 people have been arrested and the protest continues by the parents demanding answers from the administration. Take a look at the reactions coming in.
जब लड़कियां पीरियड शुरू होने के दौरान वो बार बार टॉयलेट यूज करती है, इस स्कूल में टॉयलेट के यूज करने के बाद वहाँ कुछ ब्लड के दाग मिले। इसकी वजह से प्रिंसिपल ने उनकी पूरी तरह की जांच की और इस जांच में इस लड़की को विवश किया कि पीरियड किसको आ रहे, प्रोजेक्टर पे उसके टॉयलेट के फोटो दिखाए। ये बहुत ही गंदी बात है, इसलिए हमने यहाँ आके पुलिस को निर्देश दिए। कल ही गुना दर्ज हो गया है, पोक्सो अंतर्गत गुना दर्ज करके कार्रवाई की शुरू की है। हमारे शिक्षण विभाग ने इस प्रिंसिपल को टर्मिनेट किया है और इस स्कूल की जो मान्यता है वो भी रद्द हो जाएगी। लेकिन दूसरी तरफ हमारे जो स्टूडेंट है वो उनको रेगुलर स्कूल जाना बहुत जरूरी है। तो पूरी तरह से मंडे को ही स्कूल शुरू हो जाएगा।
इसमें कल पोक्सो एक्ट के अंतर्गत एफआईआर रजिस्टर हुआ है। टोटल 8 लोगों के अगेंस्ट एफआईआर रजिस्टर हुआ है। उसमें से 5 लोगों को अरेस्ट किया है, उनको अभी कोर्ट में पेश किया है। बाकी लोगों को भी अरेस्ट करेंगे।
Now, shifting our focus to Gujarat, where 4 engineers have now been suspended in the Vadodara bridge collapse case, where at least 16 people have died and search is on for missing persons. What could have gone wrong? Where were the lapses? And where does the buck stop? These are the questions that NDTV is asking. And my colleague Ankit is joining me with more details. Take a look.
This Vadodara bridge collapse, warning signs were ignored. In 2022, this was declared unfit for use by the R&B department. Imagine in 2022 itself. And it's not that it's a very old structure. Warnings were issued by local leaders since 2021. Panchayat level leaders wrote letters after letters. Locals flagged down the run-down state of the bridge where cracks had emerged. The locals also, in fact, said that the damage result of administration owing to unchecked vehicles. They said that, heavy vehicles should not be allowed on this bridge. That went absolutely unheard. MLA Yogesh Patel wrote to the government in 2022 and 2023 warning that this bridge at this moment is unstable. The letter flagged strong vibrations, visible cracks in the bridge, all across the surface of this bridge, but nothing was done. In fact, the letter also said that, it called it a suicide point owing to such tragedies. They were warned, the government was warned that, this could have happened. And despite that, zero action was taken.
Shifting our focus to Bihar, where elections are due, a 50-year-old man involved in the sand mining business was shot dead outside his home in Patna on Thursday. The victim, Ramakant Yadav, was attacked by unidentified armed people near his residence in Thane village. He was then rushed to the nearest government hospital but was declared brought dead. This comes days after Gopal Khemka, a well-known BJP leader and businessman, was shot dead outside his home in Patna on Friday night. This also sparked a major political showdown with many questioning the law and order situation under Bihar Chief Minister Nitish Kumar. Take a look at the reactions coming in.
रानी तालाब थाना क्षेत्र के अंतर्गत एक गांव है धाना, वहां के एक व्यक्ति जिनका नाम रमाकांत यादव है, उनकी उम्र लगभग 50 वर्ष है। उनको गोली लगी है, फायरिंग की घटना हुई थी और उनको इलाज के लिए हॉस्पिटल में रेफर कर दिया गया था। वहां डॉक्टरों द्वारा उन्हें मृत घोषित कर दिया गया है। प्रथम दृष्टया हत्या का मामला पुलिस के सामने आ रहा है। हम लोग इसमें जाँच कर रहे हैं और एक एसआईटी का गठन भी हम लोगों ने कर दिया है और इसमें एफएसएल को बुला लिया गया है। अग्रिम अनुसंधान के क्रम में जो कुछ भी आएगा वो आप लोगों से शेयर किया जाएगा।
Yeah, even before the incident of infamous Gopal Khemka murder case could fade away from people's memory, 2 major crime incidents has again shook the state of Bihar. The one happened in Paliganj, the Paliganj area of Patna, which is the rural suburb of Patna, around 40 kilometers from here. A sand mafia, a sand dealer was shot dead called Ramakant Yadav. He was actually taking the evening stroll outside his house in Paliganj in the Rani Talab village at Paliganj. And remember, the distance from that particular place where this incident happened is around 40 kilometers from the state capital. And this guy was involved in the sand business for long. His brother was also shot dead around 10 years back in a similar fashion. And today, Ramakant Yadav was taking a stroll outside his house when the motorcycle-bound criminals came and shot at him, and he was then later taken to hospital and he was declared brought dead. The body has been kept in the hospital, and the senior cops have reached the spot, and they are saying that they are looking into the details as to whether it was a business rivalry or some kind of family dispute or a land dispute as it is seen. But this guy called Ramakant Yadav, who was shot, actually he had several criminal cases upon him, and he was also named in few of the murders in past. So that is one angle also which the police is probing.
बदलाव की इच्छा रखने वाले लोग, उनको ये तय करना है कि वो जनसुराज जैसे नए विकल्प को चुनते हैं कि फिर पिटे पिटाए अपनी पूरी पुरानी व्यवस्था में जाना चाहते हैं।
मैं चिराग पासवान पूरी तरीके से बिहार विधानसभा का चुनाव लड़ने के लिए तैयार हूँ।
तेजस्वी जी मुख्यमंत्री बने हैं, हमारी पूरी सपोर्ट है उनको। हम किंग मेकर की भूमिका में रहना चाहते हैं
कि लोग घर से बाहर नहीं निकल पाते।
प्रधानमंत्री जी को बताना चाहिए कि इनका जो बिहार में जो सरकार है 50% जो नीतीश जी की मंत्रिमंडल में जो लोग बैठे वो परिवारवादी लोग हैं, वो अपने आप को भी परिवारवादी बोले।
जंगल राज लाने वाले मौका देख रहे हैं, अपने पुराने कारनामे करने का मौका ढूंढ रहे हैं।
The film Punjab 95 faces significant censorship issues, with the censor board demanding 127 cuts. Director Hani Trehan expressed frustration, stating that with such extensive cuts, the film would no longer be theirs, but rather the censor board's. Trehan criticized the board for misusing its powers. The film, starring Diljit Dosanjh as human rights activist Jaswant Singh Khalra, has been struggling to get certified. Take a look at this exclusive interview.
Cuts as big as 127 as a number, my first reaction was, what is left in the film? When you ask a filmmaker to make 127 cuts, what is left?
That is their ridiculous demand, of course. And of course, only trailer will be left.
Yeah.
I don't think there is any relevance of the film will be left. And yeah, I don't agree to those 127 cuts. I'm not going to make all those cuts. That is for sure. And even if the film will get released with all those cuts, then I'll remove my name from the film. And so is the
Yeah.
That we have already mentioned. One very simple line, because when you give the reference of Punjab 95, there's one voiceover comes. इंदिरा गांधी के assassination को 11 साल हो चुके थे और पंजाब में सरकार बने 3 साल. What is so disturbing in this line? Now they are saying कि remove Indira Gandhi from this line. Okay, what do I call her? There is a movie which has been released called Emergency, based on the life of
Indira Gandhi. True, yeah.
And one filmmaker can make an entire film on the life of Indira Gandhi, where calling her Indira Gandhi, and one person cannot even take Indira Gandhi's name in their film. Like, why is this partiality?
Yeah.
We both are Indian citizens. We both are filmmakers. We both have freedom of speech, freedom of expression. Why only one expression? One person has a different kind of support, and the other person does not have that support. So I think CPFC has also been given extra powers, which they are misusing. You know, some people in power, they are just trying to use CPFC as a backdoor entry to enter into the film industry to control the narratives.
How is Diljit with everything that is going on? As a person, is he very calm?
He's very calm. He is very composed. And whenever I speak to him or in length, and he always kind of motivates me. And he's a very courageous person. And but he's also like gets upset, gets little disappointed.
Like this decision that you both took, that, you know, if you all put in these cuts, we are going to take out our names from the credits. It was a very
Tanisha, we have to stand by our conscience also.
And slipping into a very short break. Don't go anywhere. Keep watching NDTV.
गुजरात
उसको इंटरव्यू देने की।
गायकवाड़ साहब ऐसे मत कीजिए।
लोग देख रहे तो कर रहा है, लोग देख रहे तो कर रहा है।
किसने हक दिया आपको हाथ उठाने का?
अगर फिर से कोई ऐसी गलती करेगा तो मैं छोड़ूंगा नहीं।
सर आप लाइव हैं एनडीटीवी पर।
मैं सही बात कर रहा हूँ।
आपकी जो आवाज है,
आप मेरी आवाज ब्रेक मत कीजिए, मेरा पूरा
सबने
सुन लीजिए।
देखा है, सबने सुना है।
मैं तुम्हारी बात नहीं करूंगा। ये क्या पद्धति है? ये बात करते हैं तो मैं नहीं करूंगा बात इनसे।
गायकवाड़ साहब ऐसे मत कीजिए।
लोग देख रहे तो कर रहा है, लोग देख रहे तो कर रहा है।
He wants to throw punches, he wants to throw slaps, but he can't take normal questions.
Warm welcome to everyone who's watching NDTV right now. I am Aditi Bhardwaj. Let's take a look at the top stories that we are tracking here at this hour. Karnataka Chief Minister Siddaramaiah and Deputy Chief Minister D.K. Shivakumar are in Delhi amid Karnataka CM change talk. CM Siddaramaiah has sought time to meet Rahul Gandhi, but Rahul Gandhi hasn't met the leaders yet. Meanwhile, Rahul Gandhi was seen meeting Gujarat Congress leaders this evening. NDTV confronts Shinde's MLA Sanjay Gaikwad. Sanjay Gaikwad runs away from the interview midway when asked tough questions by my colleague Shiv Arur on the slap kick that he was involved in during a brawl in canteen. Gujarat bridge collapse. 4 engineers have now been suspended, where 16 people died after the bridge collapsed in Vadodara. Days after businessman Gopal Khemka's murder, another businessman shot dead in Patna. Bihar man involved in sand mining business shot dead outside his home. Tamil Nadu Chief Minister M.K. Stalin takes a swipe at rival AIA-DMK chief. CM Stalin says EPS is now the official BJP spokesperson after forming alliance with the Bharatiya Janata Party ahead of state elections. Khalistani terrorists take responsibility for the attack on Kapil Sharma's cafe in Canada. Cap's Cafe had just celebrated its opening when it was vandalized by Khalistani goons. And the top focus here tonight is the restaurant recently launched by comedian Kapil Sharma in Columbia in Canada came under fire on Wednesday night with multiple bullets hitting the cafe and neighboring buildings. While no injuries were reported, the attack has triggered concern among local residents and the Indian diaspora in the area. Owned by Sharma and named Cap Cafe, the restaurant was opened last weekend in the heart of the country and had quickly become a popular spot for the Indian community. According to the cops, several rounds were fired at the property. Bullet marks were found on the cafe's wall as well as other areas in the nearby residential buildings. The area was sealed off. CCTV footage is being scanned and spent bullet casings have been recovered. A forensic investigation is also underway. Meanwhile, Khalistani terrorists have taken responsibility for the attack. My colleague Maha Siddiqui is also joining me with more details.
Kapil Sharma's latest venture, the Cap Cafe in Canada, was witness to an unsavory and a shocking incident of 8 rounds being fired at the establishment. The Surrey police that is investigating the matter confirmed that they got a call at 1:50 a.m. on the 10th of July and that the firing was aimed at this establishment while there were staff still inside. No one has been injured in the firing incident, but there has been damage to property. The Surrey police say that they have canvassed the area, they have spoken to the staff as well as they are looking out for witnesses and surveillance camera footage that could help them piece together this incident. Meanwhile, the Surrey Police's frontline investigation support team will now take this investigation further by looking at whether this incident could be connected to any other incident in the past and what the possible motive could be. The Surrey Police say that so far they have not zeroed in on any suspect. But reports from India suggest that a banned terror outfit, Babbar Khalsa International, could be involved in this shooting. It is noteworthy here also that the Premier of British Columbia, David Eby, had recently said that he would